Deuteronomy 16:18 through 21:9, Isaiah 51:12 through 52:12, John chapter 14, or Yochanan chapter 14, verse 9 through 20. All right, and we're going to read Judges chapter 16, verse 18. We're going to stop at chapter 17, verse 14. I'm sorry, verse 13. Okay, 17, 13. Okay, start your reading.
Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates.
Okay, so the judges and officers are supposed to be set up in our areas, in our gates, which means that we're supposed to have people that are studied in the Torah, that know the Torah, that make decisions as well as interpretations about the Torah. All right, this system we have now of everybody just saying, I don't agree with this scripture, I don't agree with that scripture, I don't agree with what you're saying, that's something that came from the Gentiles. The Israelites had one law, and it was not left up to the common man to say what his interpretation of the law was, and everybody could do it their own way. Much less somebody who's been, raised in a Gentile society, under Gentile norms, under Gentile religion, Gentile political system, Gentile education, Gentile schools, Gentile neighborhood, Gentile name, then finding out that the Torah is the book we're supposed to be going by, and then try to come up with your own interpretation of what you think the Torah is supposed to mean, contrary to what the judges and the officers are saying. You see? So this is just a chaotic, anarchist type of spirit that has come on our people. They don't want to respect the judges and the officers because they think it's more valid than those of the judges. But the Most High didn't say, appoint your opinion. All right? It says you give that to yourselves. It says the tan laka. So you give yourself, you set up judges and officers. And when you come into this truth, there's judges and officers that have already been in your cities, man. All right? There's judges and officers that have already been in your cities. I know in the case of Ohio, there was already judges and officers set up there, biblically set up there. So you can't come along, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years later. Can somebody get her, please, and stop her from doing all that extra stuff, please? And then say, well, I disagree with what you're saying. I think that I can wear a bald head. I think that I can shave all my beard off. I think that a man can wear mink eyelashes. I think that I can wear pink and black and blue fingernail polish. I think that I can put an earring hanging down like a bull ring in my nose. You're supposed to have respect for the elders and for the judges and officers. So that's the problem. A lot of our people don't have respect. And they think that this truth is about them having a private interpretation because they want to do something. So they overlook what the law says and what the judges say and say, I'm going to do it my way. But that's wickedness. You can't do that. No matter what walk of life you go into, there's no nation on the planet Earth that will allow you or reward you for going against the judgment of the judges of that nation, except for one, and it's called the nation of Israel, because we don't respect law and judges. We talk about law and judges and commandments all day, but the minute that a judge tells us something that we don't like, something that can impact how we wear our jewelry, now we got a problem with the judges. Now we know better than the judges. That's not a society. That's chaos. That's anarchy. That's not what this is founded upon. So we have to judge righteously according to the commandment that Yahweh have given us. All right, read.
Which Yahweh then high giveth thee, tribe by tribe.
So you should not pervert or twist the judgment of the judges. The righteous judgments based on the Torah. And then you got some situation you have to decide outside the Torah. Like, are we going to drive on the left side or the right side of the road in our community? Are we going to allow dogs to run loose, or do they have to be inside the gate? Are we going to allow pet alligators and crocodiles? Can we have pet monkeys? You see? How loud can we play music from our house at night? When do we have to get a little more quiet? See, these are things that the Torah doesn't talk about, but these are civil matters that have to be addressed and decided by the judges. Even though the Torah doesn't say. Why? Because the Torah doesn't say. So a judge is not just supposed to be, the Torah says this, and that's what you have to do. Or the Torah says don't do this, so you can't do it. The judge also says we have situations and matters of culture, of a civil society that need to be decided. So the judges make those decisions. But we as a people, we look at being an Israelite as a religion. We don't look at it as a nationality with structured laws and a judicial system, which is part of the executive system or part of the legislative system that we have to respect, and the officers are part of the judicial executive system. I'm sorry, the officers are part of the judicial executive system. See, the Bible goes into more detail than the Esau's American system. Because Samson was a judge, he defended the people. You see? So anyway,
Thou shalt not respect persons.
but people respect their own selves. If we're not supposed to have respect to a person, how can you yourself respect your own person over what the judge is saying? See, that means you're not supposed to have no respect to a person or no partiality. But you have partiality to yourself. In other words, if somebody gave an order and the judge say don't do this, and you see that person doing it, you're gonna be like, man, why are they going against the judges? But then you go against the judges like, well, I got a good reason for going against the judges. So you can't go against the judges. And you can't have respect to a person. The same judgment for everybody is for the same judgment for the little man and for the big man. But because our people are not focused on a national structure of government for the nation, they scream nation, they scream government, but then they break themselves off into different camps and say, well, you got your doctrine, you got your doctrine, and they believe what they believe, and we're going to believe what we believe, but we're going to get together every now and then and just kind of fellowship and chill together. That ain't saving nobody's soul, though. That ain't correcting no wrongs that somebody's doing in their life, because you don't want to approach that person and have a structured or a orderly meeting with that person about what's being done. All right, go ahead.
Neither shalt thou take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous.
So you're not supposed to take any type of gifts or bribes as a judge. Meaning, I don't care who you are, what you have to offer. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Go ahead. But what happens, let me say this, what happens is that some people, before they get a judgment, they actually start to do the thing that they think is right or wrong, but they know nobody's doing it. Let me talk about this nose ring situation. Brothers know nobody in Israel wasn't wearing no nose rings. So why didn't you get proper counsel and proper guidance before you made your own judgment that this was acceptable for Israel? You know nobody's doing it. You see Hindu women doing it. You see people doing it to their bulls. Why wouldn't you get a judgment about it before you yourself say, well, you know what? I'm going to do what nobody else is doing. I'm going to break the mold. I'm going to be the one to start to wear earrings and piercings in my eyebrows, in my cheeks, in my lips, in my septum of my nose. I'm going to wear bull rings in my belly button, right? On my penis, on my clitoris, on my butt, on my big toe. or my ankle skin. You got to get counsel before you do these things, because you doing these things following people in the world. What righteous Torah teacher do we have that's doing these things? What righteous Torah teacher do we have? Another person, and look at another culture. Ask yourself, what is my culture? What are the persons that teach me the Torah? What are they doing? And you mark out, you mark those men, you mark that culture, and you follow that in righteousness. You don't go about just saying, I'm gonna do my own thing and make my own way. Because that's what? That's having respect the person towards yourself. Go ahead.
Justice shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which thou shalt not plant thee in Asherah,
Which is a type of a tree. Go ahead.
of any kind of tree beside the altar.
So they had customs of making beautiful landscape and trees and stuff to worship at their temple sites. And also we all know that the Wiccans go into the woods and stuff and worship at different trees. Right? You can see it in Lord of the Rings. They were doing stuff like that. Okay? All the different types of movies. Game of Thrones, they do stuff like that. They do this type of stuff in so many different cultures, and it doesn't belong to us. So they were setting up these groves and trees, and they would worship, at those trees, at those groves. Go ahead.
Beside the altar of Yahweh the Elohim, which thou shalt make thee, neither shalt thou.
Read that again. You said the Lord thy God, which thou shalt make thee. Say it one time. So in other words, let me, because the pause kind of distracted the thought of it. When you have an altar of Yahweh is saying, I don't want any trees or any type of thing that people are worshiping to be associated with me. Oh, you can't cut the oak tree. Why? Because they got the oak tree by the altar, and you be doing harm to the oak species, because that's by the altar of Yahweh. So he's saying don't mix other stuff with what he's telling you to do. All right? What he's telling you to do. Okay.
Any kind of tree beside the altar set thee up a pillar which Yahweh the Elohim hateth.
So it says, do not set up no kind of pillar. Okay? No type of pillar. Okay? No type of instrument that's used to worship different gods. No type of instrument that's being used to worship demons and idols. All right? And who did this? See, Torah is very clear, and it warns us of what's going on. Who did this? Who decided they were going to set the Christians, so-called Christians? They set up their crosses. The Muslims, they set up what? The black rock at Mecca that they bow down and kiss. The Catholics, they bow down and kiss anything they say is a saint. Hindus do the same. Everybody does that except for us. So we don't bow down and kiss nothing. Go ahead. Kalashra Debar Yahweh. Naishawa Nashami.
An ox or sheep wherein is a blemish.
So the Most High said, don't sacrifice anything with a blemish. But then you got demons entering into people's minds. You got demons entering into people's minds that says the Most High don't want you killing no animal for the sacrifices. The wicked Levite priest said, don't sacrifice nothing that has blemishes in it. Go ahead.
Even any evil thing for that is an abomination unto Yahweh the Elohim.
That's an abomination unto Yahweh. It's an abomination unto Yahweh.
Which Yahweh the Elohim giveth thee, man or woman, that doeth that which is evil in the sight of Yahweh the Elohim, transgressing his covenant.
So if somebody breaks the covenant of the Most High, get your foot off of that. If somebody breaks the covenant of the Most High and transgresses the covenant that the Most High has given us, by what are they talking about? By doing what? Go ahead.
And hath gone and served other gods.
Has gone and served other gods, saying that Allah is the true God, or the God of the meatless Israelites is the true God, or the God of Sunday worship is the true God, the God of Christmas is the true God, the God of Eid Mubarak is the true God, the God of Ramadan is the true God, the God of Diwali is the true God. Saying all these different feast days and worship systems are true. Go ahead.
And worship them or the sun.
Worship them. So they go and worship these other gods. Go ahead.
The sun or the moon or any of the hosts of heaven.
Now, aren't the Muslims going to bow down and kiss a rock that they say is a meteorite that fell from the sky? Aren't they going to kiss that? So the Most High says the statues of the feet of their saints, the Most High saying don't worship that. Are not you saying Hotep, Amen, Ra, and you worshiping the sun god Ra? Yahweh saying don't do that. Don't get involved in Egyptology. Don't meddle with the Metu Neter. All right, go ahead.
Which I have commanded not.
Mm-hmm.
And it be told thee, and thou hear it, and then shalt thou inquire diligently, and behold, if it be true.
If it be true, meaning people have gone to worship these false gods. Go ahead.
And the thing certain that such abomination is wrought in Israel,
Mm-hmm.
then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman who had done this evil thing unto thy gates, even the man or woman, and thou shalt stone them with stones that they die.
So when you commit these acts of worshiping these other gods, that's a capital crime against Yahweh. You're supposed again to rule and govern all continents, all waters, all skies will be governed by us. You may not see that day coming. You may not even believe, but that day is coming. And when that day is coming, I pray that you be on the right side of that day. Because you're on the wrong side, worshiping another God, bound down to a rock. Let me explain something to you. Islam is rock worship with the book. See, forget about all the other stuff. At the end of the day, it's this rock that's taking away your sins. At the end of the day, you have to go and kiss this rock. You have to go to this city and kiss this rock. And then when all is said and done. People may say Allah, but that was names associated with that rock at Mecca when Muhammad first got started. So you may say, you know, chakra and all this other crap, but all that, yeah, I'm calling it crap. We got to speak the truth. It's waste. We say these things, but we forget that these things are part of a religious system. These things are part of a balance of spiritual worship that someone created or someone was given by demons. So we have to stay clear of these things. We can't dibble and dabble and say, I'm going to use this over here, this over here. All right, go ahead.
At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is to die be put to death.
See, wait. This is wrong with you people now. You people want to debate everything. You understand? People want to debate everything. The Most High don't say bring the person forth and debate on whether or not they're really worshiping another God. It say, I saw him worship another God. I saw him worship another God. Okay, kill him. Period. We heard you talk against the Torah. They heard you talking to Torah. Now you got a spiritual death sentence hanging over your head. All this debating and going back and forth, and that ain't what we see here. This is a spiritual principle that when used will bring spiritual and physical. Yeah, Parazah said that we all supposed to make a trip to Mecca and pretend to be Muslims and march around the city, the Kaaba, the stone, the cube house 7 times, and then we kiss the rock when we go over there. Guess what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to be against me now. I don't care if you're my son, my daughter, my wife, my best friend, my student, my elder, my father, my mother, my cousin, my neighbor. You supposed to be against me now on a spiritual format. Now you can pray and try to help me come out of my stupidity that I've allowed Satan to lead me into, but we should not be trying to have, well, yeah, let's talk about this. Why? What is talking about it going to do? It's going to give more light. See, now I'm clout chasing. I want more people to hear what I'm saying. Suppose, because there's always an idiot out there that's going to listen to me. And when you give light to that idiot, you are spreading his lie. If you ain't bringing that person to trial to give a consequence for their rebellion against the Torah, what you're doing is just following a whole established paradigm of doing things that we don't see inside the scriptures. The judges deliberated. Once you know something is right and something is wrong, what need do we have to debate? If you see him, if you know, and both men have confessed that they be in a room by themselves, sword fighting, all right? They be in their room sword fighting each other. Do we need to have a public debate with them about homosexuality? Is it in the Bible or not? Huh? No, we don't. We need to say, brother, we need you to come to court. Did you talk against the Bible? Did you go against this law? Yes, I did, but let me explain why. No, we don't need to explain why. Did you commit acts of homosexuality with this man? And both men say yes. That's the two witnesses, witnessing on themselves and against the other brother. And then somebody else comes and say, yes, he told me that him and so was such and such and such. That's 3 witnesses now against the person. So you got more than enough witnesses now. So what is the decree? Brother, the decree is that you need to stop this, and we're going to go pray the Most High to execute a judgment upon you as his will is, whether it be mercy or whether it be punishment. But, go ahead.
At the mouth of one witness, he shall not be put to death. The hand of the witness shall be first upon.
And knows that evil sin was done, whatever it may be, they're supposed to be the first ones to help to kill that person. Yeah, it's this type of person, this type of God that we serve. This is the type of person that would not be able to survive, but it costs a lifetime to walk uprightly in the eyes of the Most High. You could talk about anything all day. You could talk about how the Lego movie is real based on real life events last week. You could talk about how the Easter Bunny, Peter Rabbit, and Bugs Bunny are all first cousins. You can tell us all of that. But so what? At the end of the day, the word of the Most High is going to stand. You can talk all you want. Once you start talking against the Torah, talk is over. Judgment needs to come down now. And that's what's happening with a lot of us now. We playing games with these ignorant people that call themselves Israelites talking against the Bible. We don't need to have no debates with you. Somebody got to put their foot down, man. And somebody got to say, the judges, the elders, the officers have said this about such and such matter, and you need to be brought before the carpet. Are you teaching this? Yes, I am. All right, brother. This is our judgment. We give you into the hands of the Most High. And for every rebellion you commit against the Most High, we put you further into the Most High.
Away the evil from the midst of thee.
Okay.
If there arise a matter too hard for thee in the judgment between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke.
I mean, there's a situation where the judges can't decide about the situation. Everybody understand that? So who's making the final decision? Who's the one that determines, well, you know what? If something be too hard for these, talking about the judges. So the judges are the ones that say, well, you know what? We have to take this to a higher.
Thy gates, then shall thou rise and get thee up unto the place which Yahweh thy Elohim thy shall choose.
So what did it say? It said that if there's a controversy within your gate that's too hard, do it say anything about that person against whom the judgment is made disagrees with you? It say anything about that? It said if it's too hard for you, it don't say it's too hard of a pill for them to swallow. It means that it's too hard for that person to accept it. That ain't what it means. It means that it's too hard for you, the judges, the leadership, to make a decision on. Read.
And thou shalt come unto the priest.
Which is talking about going to Jerusalem. Go ahead.
The Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and thou shalt inquire, and they shall declare unto thee the sentence of judgment. Again,
the sentence of judgment does not rest on the defendant. It doesn't rest on the defendant or the plaintiff. It rests on the judges. And we have to respect what the judges are saying. And it's going to be high time, as a nation, we can't go forward with people that don't respect their own system of government that we see in the Torah. Because they want to do their own thing. And that's one of the things that I hate so bad about America. It's set up so you can do your own thing. As long as you don't go against the white. You can call yourself an Israelite, part of a congregation, school, camp, community, and you can talk and be against everything that they teach. But you can still claim to be part of them, or under them, or a subject of them, or a leader of them, and never be brought to justice for all of the things you doing and standing against them. And that's not right. Our judgment system has to be respected by our people. If not, then what is it there for? It's a J-O-K-E. Now go ahead.
And thou shalt do according to the tenor of the sentence.
Meaning follow the commandments, follow the judgment of the judges. What, right? You go to a white man's court, and the white man says, we told you, the white man says, we told you not to wear shorts to court. And you wore shorts to court. And the white man says, well, here inside this code that we have, it says you cannot blase, 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 blah. And then you say, well, you're wrong, judge. This is what it really means. You can tell me what I can put on my body. What's the judge going to say? What's going to happen to you? What's going to happen to you? Where are you going? Where are you going to go? Where are you going? Huh? Why are you going to go to jail? You're going to jail. But what if the judge says, well, and y'all just go back and forth, and the judge can't do nothing, judge can't send you nowhere, all he can do is blah, 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 blah. What's going to happen then? Nothing. And if you want to wear your shorts, what are you going to do? And the judge says, you can't wear no shorts. What are you going to do? If you want to wear them, and the judge says you can't wear them, and you telling the judge, well, I'm going to wear my shorts anyway. What are you going to do? Wear the shorts. So what's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference in both of them scenarios? One, the judge got people to enforce his judgments. And the other one, we got a Bible to enforce our judgments. We got conversating, we got conferences to enforce our judgments. In other words, in a civil, respected government, you're always going to have what? Consequences. You're always going to have consequences. What's our consequences as Israelites? What if I say, you know what? I don't believe in Hamashiach no more. What can they do to me? They can't do nothing to me. Be learning and teaching. The plus is that it really lets you see who is who. Who's gonna voluntarily get in line with the Bible, with the structure of leadership, of judgment. Because all we're reading about now is just judgments and idolatry. So it really lets you see who really wants to get in line with the order that the Most High has given. People really thinking in their mind that you're going to have an Israelite society where nobody can tell you about anything other than what the Torah says. You can have a dinner, you can serve people food that's going to make their stomach sick because you're doing that yourself. But I love my neighbor like I love myself. I like to throw up because it cleans the inside of my body. I'm bulimic or whatever. You know, I make myself gag and throw up. I'm anorexic. I don't really want to eat nothing, whatever. So now you got to define what is loving yourself. And that's defined according to the Torah, the Torah. Adam, all the way down to Noah. Okay? So we see what's happening in the scripture, and we use that as a measurement to see how we're supposed to be. But if we don't have any enforcement of that system of how we're supposed to be, all you're going to be left with is what? People that are doing the right thing. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. And the time is coming when we're going to stop playing games with a lot of you cats out here, man. You want to talk about the Bible's theocracy, but then you want to live in the white man's free society democracy, where everybody can do what they want to do. Where everybody can just do their own thing, don't got to answer to nobody. Try that in South Africa. Try that in India. Try that in America or Mexico or Canada. Try that in Bangladesh. Try that in Mozambique. Democratic Republic of Congo. Australia. Jamaica. We ain't gonna get away with it. But then you want to come to the holiest nation on the planet Earth, and then you want to try to get away with some wickedness like that. And you think that the Most High is inhabiting your praises? and you're his people, when you don't respect what he's telling us to do inside these scriptures, man. So everybody wants to be a leader, but nobody wants to follow. Or everybody wants to follow the way that they want to go.
That place which Yahweh shall choose, and thou shalt observe to do according to all that they shall teach thee, according to the law which they shall teach thee,
Right.
and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not turn aside from thee to the right hand nor the left.
Right.
And the man that doeth presumptuously.
Presumptuously means you're doing it, raising your hand high, knowing that what you're doing is wrong. Go ahead.
And not hearkening unto the priests, and that standeth to minister there before Yahweh the Elohim, or to the judge, even that man shall die. And
What?
even that man shall die.
You shall die. It don't matter how big or how small the situation. So go ahead and stand up for what you believe in, knowing that in ancient Israel, you would not get away with the stuff that you're trying to do in America. You would die. All right, go ahead. So you shall put away all of the evil that's come upon Yasha'Allah. Go ahead.
And all the people shall hear.
So the people hear what happened. Well, man, this guy went to the Supreme Court of Israel and he got put to death. Go ahead.
In fear.
And they're going to be afraid now. I'm not going to do that no more. I'm not going to go against the judges. Go ahead.
And do no more presumption.
And they're not going to do no more of these types of sins, on purpose. Okay? All right, next read is going to go to the end of the chapter.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 14. When thou art come into the land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over thee, like as all the nations that are about thee. Thou shalt in any wise set a king over thee, whom Yahweh thy Elohim shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt. For to the end that he shall multiply horses, for as much as Yahweh hath said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply himself silver and gold.
Okay, so the same words that we see pertaining to this king, okay, with the silver and the gold, okay, is the same as we see for the woman. All right, so let me do a quick overview real quick. First of all, we're not supposed to have kings from different nations. Okay, so that leaves out the Catholic Church, that leaves out the so-called Christian church, that leaves out the so-called Muslim mosques, because they ain't from Yasha'Allah, they're not Israel. They don't care about the nation of Israel. They want to control the nation of Israel. You understand? They want to control the nation of Israel. They don't want to be under us, the 12 tribes. So the Most High, Yahweh said, don't put a king over you to rule over you. That's not of your people. So first of all, we see that only we rule ourselves. And we see that we are supposed to have our own people in leadership. So there's never a time when we are some type of anarchic system where everybody just does their own thing. Okay? So that's one thing, and that's two things. So we set our king up over us. Right? And now we labor for something physical and material or protection from the Egyptian army. So we're not supposed to sell out our people for relationships with the Gentiles. Okay? Now we're not supposed to multiply wives or silver and gold. Now, does that mean the king only supposed to have one piece of silver, one piece of gold? Right? So the multiplication is a fixation. I gotta get this gold. I gotta get this silver. I gotta get a bunch of wives. But if somebody says, hey man, you know, you a good king. I appreciate you. Here, take this, take that. So y'all don't got no problem on there. And your wife ain't got no problem. Somebody saying, hey brother man, you if a woman come and say, you know what? He's such a great teacher. He can have my whole estate in Monaco, and I'm gonna fly everybody out there 4 times a year whenever y'all wanna go. You know, 35-acre estate with a lake, playground, swimming pool, tennis court, basketball court, football field, go-kart field. Y'all can go whenever y'all want to. No, I won't want to. Well, you know what? It don't matter if you want it. It's yours. The taxes been paid on it for 100 years. And the tickets are waiting for you at the counter at the airport whenever you want to go. So that will be an increase. But now if the same woman says, oh, but I need to be his wife. Oh, no. We don't need you or your house or your pool or none of that. Now she talk against the idea. Why? Because women are just jealous creatures by nature. Jealous of other women. Jealous, let me say, put it like this. Jealous of something that the Most High said was okay. Let me put it in perspective. Jealous of something that the Most High said was okay. Okay. The Most High never said it's okay for a woman to have another man. Woman. So the woman have no righteous reason to be jealous of another woman. Especially if she knows that the Most High allows this. So a lot of people try to use this scripture, well, you have a wife and you're not supposed to multiply, but the scriptures are saying the same thing about the horse. All right? You're not supposed to be trying to get a whole bunch of horses. Don't multiply horses. Don't multiply wives. Don't multiply silver and gold. You see that? Don't multiply silver and gold and women. So, what is understanding? That's not supposed to be a goal. That's not supposed to be a carnal aspiration. I just got to get gold. I got to do whatever I need to do to get this gold or get this silver or to get this woman. That's what the Most High is talking about. It's not an injunction against polygyny, no more than it's an injunction against only having one piece of gold. First of all, the amount of gold and silver and the amount of wives is not even mentioned. So where did the number 1 come from? Huh? What's 1 plus 1? What's 2 plus 2? What's 4 plus 4?
8.
Okay. What's 2 times 4? What's the difference? What's the difference in the process? The process is the steps and the procedures and the timing that you go through to do it. But fair. The same restriction that you want to apply on the gold and the silver and the wife. It all has to be the same restriction. Why? Because it's all saying the same thing. Don't multiply the wife. The winner trying to make, are you going to try to make that money? So if you see a situation to have another wife, and it's going to be beneficial, it's not going to be detrimental to you or your family, are you wrong for taking that opportunity? All right then. So how did the number one come into the picture? It says don't multiply wives. That's what it says. Don't multiply wives. And then it says don't greatly multiply silver and gold. Okay, so let's understand that. So this is not saying you can't have more than one wife. This is not saying you can't have more than one piece of silver. Even though when we go into the text, it says don't multiply greatly to yourself. It says wa kasab wa zahab, silver and gold. So why is the multiplying silver and gold listed in the singular? And for woman it says nashim, don't multiply wives. In order for you to multiply wives, first I have to have what? Wives. So I'm starting out with wives. And I'm not supposed to multiply these wives. Well, let's not even say multiply. It says, Wala'a yaraba lawa nashim. Rabah means greatly. Rabah means greatly. It doesn't mean to multiply. When we say Torah Rabah or Torah Rabah, we mean thank you greatly. All right? So it says, Wala'a yaraba lawa. Don't multiply. He should not multiply to himself. He should not greatly increase to himself. Nashim. Wala'a yasawar lababwa. Right? They seduce his heart. They turn sawab. So it says, and no turn his heart. So it says, do not greaten your wives and don't turn, and they turn lababwa, his heart. Then it says, wa kasap, and silver, wa zahab, and gold, la'a, no yaraba, he shall increase or greaten. Lawa, to himself, ma'ad, greatly. So everything ends with the word what? Greatly. Meaning what? Man, I'm gonna get me 10, I got me 10 wives now. But if you use that same logic, can I take one, is it wrong for me to take one piece of gold and make 10 pieces of gold? Is that wrong? You see, toward the biblical rationale that is not talking about the physical act of doing these things, but the measurement of motivation and the process whereby these things are done, being rooted and based in things that are wrong and evil, things that are not just, not correct, not righteous, not motivated for good. Why? Because it talks about the woman, it talks about her, it talks about the heart turning away by multiplying women. By multiplying women. Not even multiplying, but by greatly increasing women. All right? It says don't greaten women. Okay? And let's go somewhere. What if this is talking about, because remember, rabbah means what? What does the word rabbi mean? Rabbiah. Rabbi, it means my great one, okay? Rab means great. What if this means don't exalt? Don't put on a pedestal. What if this going behind principles of silver and gold and women? What if it's not even talking about because the word multiply is not there. The word, this says rabah, which means to increase or to greaten. Just like we say Torah rabah, saying that this is, we have a verb missing, but we said this is the verb. Okay, if this is the verb, could this be talking about that you are not supposed to exalt and greatly increase? Because everything starts where? The physical means nothing. You can perish with a bunch of gold, right? Ananias and Sapphira, remember them? They came to the disciples and they sold their land and they kept some of the money for themselves. Remember that? They kept some money for themselves and they said, well, we sold this amount of land and here's the money. And they held back some of the money and they dropped dead. Then the husband came again, did the same thing. No, the wife came again. The wife came and she did the same thing and she dropped dead. They lied to Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit of Yahweh. So when they lied, the Most High gave them death. Because in their mind, they increased the value of that gold of Bathsheba over obedience to the laws of Yahweh. In Solomon's mind, Solomon increased the value of women who worshiped a whole nother God. Right? And exalted that relationship with those women over his relationship with Yahweh. So we see biblical examples of when men put women and money and gold over their allegiance to Yahweh, that bad, evil, detrimental things follow. We don't see examples of a man gaining wealth righteously, gaining wives righteously, with the Most High bringing his judgment upon that man. We don't see that. So this, my friends, cannot be talking about you cannot literally multiply or increase your gold. Why? Because did not Yahweh himself say that I will give you what? Increase of your flocks, of your herds, right? Let's get this light on right here. Did not he say that? I will give you increase of your land, of your flocks, of your herds, of the fruit of your trees, right? Did not he say with which Yahweh that Alahaya will bless you? You see? So this rabbah is not talking about physical aspects of gaining women, physical aspects of gaining gold or silver. Because does not wisdom say that riches are in her hand? Why would I need riches from wisdom if I'm not supposed to be multiplying silver and gold? Does it say, hey, there's one piece of gold in wisdom's hand for you. Wisdom has a piece of silver. Here, be a good little lad. God, thanks, mister. See, I ain't talking about that. So, when you look at this verse carnally, let's look at the horses. Let's go back to verse 16. What does that say?
But he shall not multiply horses to himself.
He shall not multiply horses to himself. Lawa. Yaraba lawa sawasyam. Not multiply horses. All right? Multiply, not rabah, not increase horses. So how is the king supposed to protect his people and go to war with the cavalry if he can only have a horse? A horse. My kingdom for a horse. If he can only have one horse, how's he supposed to protect his people? And the other people coming at you with 3,000, 4,000 cavalrymen, horsemen with soldiers on the backs, chariots driven by soldiers, and you going out there on your foot. Oh, so you are going to go into battle with a king that expects you to go against horses and chariots on your feet only. or maybe in a Fred Flintstone pedal car. Because we're talking about the 900s, 1000 BC. So this ain't talking, it's talking about having a horse, literally? No. It's talking about you don't put that above the Most High. You don't rabat, you don't increase it beyond its value. And its value is never supposed to be above the safety and the security of your people, and the obedience and the submission to the laws of your nation is not supposed to excel that. That's what it's talking about. Okay? That's what it's talking about. So for years, these verses have mystified people. But here we see that everything is what? It says Yarabah for everything. Everybody understand that? It says, nobody got the Hebrew, do they? It says rock. It says La'ah Yarabah. It says no increase. La'wah. Then it says Sawashim. Don't grate himself. Don't grate to himself horses. Okay? That's verse 16. And verse 17 says, it says, Wa la'at yarabah lawa nashim. And don't do the same thing to horses, the same exact verb. Which means what? You have to have the same exact interpretation for what it's saying about the horse, about the woman, about the silver, and about the gold. It has to be telling the exact same thing. Why? Because the same word is used. Same word is used. All right? And then when we go down to the silver and gold, it says waka. No, as a matter of fact, let me tell you this. Let's go to something different. It says wa kasap wa zahab la'a yarabala wa ma'ad. It puts another modifier on there, another adjective when it says ma'ad is like great. All right. Like you say, ma'ad tawab. Like very good. Okay? So much greatly. So it says much greatly. Do I need to pause for a minute? Oh, this one's having problems?
It's at 20%.
Okay. So it says so all these years, everybody's been mystified. Is it working on them? All these years, people have been mystified on this with silver, don't just with gold. Are you going to say, well, for a woman, it just means you can't get one. You got to only have one. But when you're a king, it means don't like become obsessed with it or trip on it. Okay, well, how come the only word that's verb is the verb, the noun that requires the special attention? Why? Because it's different. With gold, it says with horses, it says la'a yarabasa women. Then it says and silver and gold la'a yaraba ma'ad. Don't greatly increase this stuff. So I mean you got to be careful. Because what do they say? What do they say? First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. The power. For Scarface the movie and then Scarface the rapper too. So the money is the root of all of this stuff as a powerful leader and a king. What's a king gonna do with 10 wives and no horse and no money? You're gonna be the king of brokenness. He gonna be the what? The king of the see. But he get them horses, he get that money. Now he get, nobody's ugly in a Lamborghini truck. Everybody's handsome and attractive in a Ferrari. All of them. Ferrari in the nice clothes, all of them are attractive. Because the women like, man, he got money. You see. So anyway, so we see that this word has to be interpreted. And if there's any extra, you understand? If there's any extra emphasis, where's that extra emphasis put on? Amaria? Where's the extra emphasis put on in the text? You reading it. Multiply what? Where's the extra emphasis put on? And how do you know it's extra emphasis? It says, don't multiply horses. Read what it says, bro. You just read it, man. Read what it says again, and you tell me what the difference is on the instructions that are given.
He shall not multiply horses to himself,
Okay?
nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as Yahweh hath said unto you, you shall henceforth return no more that way.
Uh-huh.
Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold.
So what multiplying is different than all the other multiplying?
Horses.
Ariasha, what multiplying is different than all the other multiplying?
Multiply for silver and gold.
Why are you saying that? Why are you saying it's different? It mentions it. With the wives, it says what?
Neither shall he multiply wives to himself.
What's the verb before wives?
Multiply.
Is there any type of modifier before that? What's the verb at verse 16 about the horses in the first part?
Multiply.
What's the say in the second part? Say that. How you gonna get a Bible? But they try to.
And it shall be, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom.
His kingdom. Who's it talking about? What? The laws that are found in this book. Because the whole book of Deuteronomy is one big of this speech. Go ahead.
Before the priests, the Levites.
So you go to the different people, and then they would give copies. The king would make himself a copy so he can read it in his own audience, in his own privacy of where he is. Okay?
And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life.
Read it every day of his life. He got to read through that book of the law that he wrote for himself. Go ahead.
That he may learn to fear Yahweh his Elohim, and to keep all the words of this law and these statutes to do them.
But you have people that are saying, well, we ain't got to go by the Torah. Torah is wrong. Because it talks about being mean to the animals. And you have to be nice to the animals. Made out of vines that just happen to fall from trees. How about stop driving your car that giving carbon emissions, destroying the Earth's atmosphere and destroying the trees? How about that? How about stop wearing clothes that are mass produced in factories that are increasing the carbon footprint of pollution on the whole earth? And you said that the God that this whole gospel of the Holy 12 is garbage. So this God had enough foresight to tell you to be nice to the animals, but didn't warn you against industrialization.
He skipped that part.
What's doing more damage to the earth? More damage to people? Eating animals or industrialization? It's a real question. That's what runs the world. Because India probably is the country with the fewest meat eaters, per person. Then Tibet doesn't have a lot of meat eaters. They're not really big on meat. they're Buddhist. So you go to these different countries, man, you see the people in these religions put the emphasis, but they put the emphasis on things that they felt were important as a society, but this whole gospel of the Holy 12 was developed outside of a society. So what? So it doesn't deal with society issues. It doesn't deal with law. It doesn't deal with structure. It deals with religion. And any book that you have that only deals with religion is not a true book of religion, because the Torah is a true book of religion. The only book of religion on the planet Earth that's worth anything. Why? Because it deals with the whole society. From your birth, listen, from your birth until your death. What's missing? It deals with birth. It deals with raising your children. It deals with marriage. It deals with divorce. It deals with functioning as a responsible adult or child in society. And it deals with how to treat people when they get old, die. And then it tells you what you need. It's a perfect book. It covers everything from start to finish, right? It talks about free labor. It talks about hiring people. It talks about servants that are paid. It talks about servants that are not paid, right? All inside there. It talks about when you go to war and you see a beautiful woman when you go to war. A deep desire as a man if you want to dress like a woman. It tells you if you have a deep desire as a woman to dress like a man. It tells you what you're supposed to do with your beard, what you're supposed to do with the hair on your head. It tells you how you're supposed to prepare for a holy service. Covers everything. You don't find it in the Quran, the book itself, nor the Gospel of the Holy 12. Only book that's close to that is the book that the Hindus use, the Tantra or the Mantra and the Bhagavad Gita. But you know what they lack? They lack the prophecies related to us and the most powerful nations on the planet Earth. Our books talk about Russia, talks about America, talks about the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Latinos. It talks about all these people. So we know that our book is true. So if there's any kingdom building that's going to happen, it's got to be done on the Torah. So the king is supposed to write himself a copy of the Torah. All right? Okay, go ahead.
That his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left.
So what's going to happen if you don't read it, man? You're going to turn aside from it. And you're going to try to exalt yourself above your brethren, saying that, well, we don't got to use this book. I got something better. Or I don't agree with what the priests or the judges are saying about this book, so I'm going to do it my way. You cannot have those thoughts by reading the Torah consistently on a regular basis. That's why a lot of times the so-called white man calls himself a Jew. He goes into the Mishnah and the Gemara, all right? He goes into the Shulchan Aruch a lot more than he goes into just this right here, the Torah or the Chumash. And he gets specific about which was necessary, you know, over time. But we know what labor and work is. And people disagree, so they say, you know what? You ain't supposed to comb wool on this day. It didn't say combing your hair or brushing your hair. You ain't supposed to tie shoes and make knots on the Sabbath day. Because people had knots with string that was used to make different things, baskets and weaving things and stuff like that. So they try to extend it to shoes. I'm like, come on, bro, y'all went overboard with that. Can't tie my shoe. I do overboard. Okay? So his heart doesn't get lifted up, so he stays inside the Torah. He stays within the framework of the Torah. Okay?
To the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Yasharim.
Prolong his days in his kingdom. Go ahead. He and his children in the midst of Yasharim. All right?
Kol Shema Devar Yahweh.
Kol Shema Devar Yahweh.
No Shema, no Shema.
Naisha wa Nashim. We're in chapter 18 now, right? Chapter 18. Well, we're gonna have you come up, but we're gonna have you read the third and the fourth one, verse 1 to 5 and verse 6 to 13. Okay. Aliash an ban paraza ba akai kwara hatawara.
Ariasham on Parazad, but God on Yashala.
Barak.
Yavaraka come Yahal Bashim Yahal Shai.
Yabarakah Yahweh Yahushua. Man, I know Shabbat is the day of rest, bro, but man, my goodness. Everybody knows 1700, right? About 1700 hours. Just everybody you know.
Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 1. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Yasha'Allah. They shall eat the offerings of Yahweh made by fire and his inheritance.
So instead of having no inheritance, that means that they don't have their own inheritance of the land of tribal territories. They don't have their own little state, in other words. They have sections within the other states of Israel, Yasha'Allah, but they don't have their own, this is the land of Levi. Go ahead.
Therefore,
Power is their inheritance spiritually. They in charge of the temple. That's their inheritance. That's where they can go to and live at. And they can go to Jerusalem and live there and be provided for. And minister to the people. Okay? Minister before the people. I think in Haiti just experienced a very bad earthquake, 7.2 in western Haiti, in the areas of Lekai. In western Haiti, about 70 miles west of Port-au-Prince. So he said a real bad earthquake, got 20-something people dead. At this point, maybe some more dead that may come forward, all right? So that's what's going on with the tribe of Levi, which the tribe of Levi are known as Haitians today. Go ahead.
and this shall be the priest's due from the people. From them shall offer a sacrifice. From them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep.
So what? Ox or what?
Ox or sheep.
So anybody from St. Louis that comes talking about they representing some priesthood, even Melchizedek was given a tithe of everything. The Levites were supposed to offer animals to Yahweh. That's what it says. You want to make that say something different? You are a liar from the pits of hell. Period. And you need to be brought to justice. Period. And that's the problem with Israelites, man. Y'all so busy trying to make friends and get ratings that you don't put your foot down when right is right and wrong is wrong. Bunch of suckers, man. And you're forgetting about the whole judicial process of the nation. But the scripture is telling you, read that part again.
And this shall be the priest's due from the people, from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep.
So it says they offer the ox or the sheep. This is what they're supposed to get. Go ahead.
And they shall give unto the priest the shoulder, and the two cheeks, and the maw.
The shoulder, the foreleg, the two cheeks, and the maw. All right, the jaw and the maw and everything. That's how you gonna give the shoulder or the foreleg to the priest? You gotta kill it and you gotta cut it off. All right. So I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say it one time. According to what we just read, Malachi Maccabees is a damn liar. Continue.
The first fruit also that Elohim hath,
So you're supposed to cut the hair off the animals. Go ahead.
for Yahweh the Elohim hath chosen him out of all thy tribes, to stand to minister in the name of Yahweh, him and his sons forever.
Right, so the Levites, the priests, see all of the things of the tabernacle in the wilderness and the temple in the land of Israel. All right, go ahead.
And if a Levite come from any of thy gates,
Come from any place in Israel, go ahead.
out of all Yasharallah,
Uh-huh.
where he sojourned,
Uh-huh.
and come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which Yahweh shall choose.
So he comes to Jerusalem. The Levite comes to Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Then he shall,
La'ah. Go ahead.
then he shall minister in the name of Yahweh his
So
Elohim,
he serves in the name of accident. All right, go ahead.
which stand there before Yahweh.
Uh-huh.
They shall have like portions to eat, beside that which cometh of the sale of his patrimony.
The sale of the patrimony means that they had different portions of land throughout the country that they could own and buy and then sell. All right, go ahead.
When thou art come into the land which Yahweh the Elohim giveth thee,
When we come into the land of Israel, go ahead.
thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations.
Don't do what these nations do. And guess what? The scepter ring is an abomination that the nations do. These long fingernails was an abomination that the nations did. Shaving your hair bald and your face bald was part of the abominable things that the nations did because it was all done to worship other gods. Just fornication, man having sex with men, women having sex with other women, a man having sex with a woman, sex with a woman is moving along and throwing them to the side. And the woman getting another man, then another man, and throwing that man to the side. That's all part of religious worship that we can see in Deuteronomy, in Leviticus chapter 18, and Leviticus chapter 20. They did all these things to worship their other god. Men laying with their own daughters. And then the fathers laying with the nephew laying with the aunt. And the mother laying with the son. This is all the types of abominations that they were doing. Eating pigs, eating camels, eating shrimp, eating lobster, eating crab. These are the abominations that they were doing that Yahweh said, I don't want you all doing these things. Read.
There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination,
Use a divination, witchcraft, trying to open up your third eye, open up your chakra. The whole concept of chakras and third eye got nothing to do with the Bible, nothing to do with the children of Israel. I read.
or an observer of times,
That's dealing with different astrology. Go ahead.
or an enchanter,
Enchanter, you trying to read omens and make little different spells and stuff. Go ahead.
or a witch,
A witch gets dealing with different types of sorceries. Sorceries and using herbs and medicine and special spells and special words. See, the medicine itself is okay. From the herb itself is okay. But then you start mixing a frog leg and rabbit hair and the eye of a snail, making a special potion for somebody to drink and eat so that somebody can fall in love with them. That's when you get into sorcery. Or you say, hey, you know what? I got a little bit of pain. I need to get me a medical marijuana card so I can get high. I can just eat edibles. That's witchcraft. You altering your sobriety of your mind, you need to leave it alone. What's next? How can our people be so stupid, man? First it was heroin, then what did they do? Oh, we're gonna get what clinics?
Methadone.
We're gonna get the methadone clinics. They do the same thing as heroin. You still be nodding all day, right? It don't wean you off of nothing. You be wanting that methadone now. I gotta go get my methadone from the methadone clinic. Same with the marijuana card. Well, I gotta get high, but I got a card, see? I got a card, I can go get high. I can go get my medical. I got an unbearable pain in my back. Well, take care of yourself. How about we start there? See, all these medicines do that these devils give you a card and a prescription for, All these medicines do is joint damage, the ligament damage, that's a muscle yet?
No.
The muscle damage is still there. And then it's perpetuated by medical condition that you have past 30 years or 20 years. I need me a medical marijuana card. No, you need to take care of your behind. You need to get healthy. Oh, what about the chemo? No, the CBD is more medicinal and it don't get you high. I don't see no long lines for no CBD. The CBD, which comes from the hemp,
The male plant.
all right? That's the one that does the healing. That's the one that has the medicine that can help restore and heal. But you want to get dry, you just want to go use the ganja to get high and get lifted and get splifted and get zooted, right? You want to get high,
You want the THC.
all right? You want that THC. You want that THC, the high channel, to get high. CBD ain't got no, got a very low count, 0.0 something THC. But CBD is low inside of the THC. It's a lot lower. So you get high and get a little bit of medicine. Over here, you get a lot of medicine and no high. So why is everybody trying to get the medicine that get them high? Why nobody got the CBDs? You can rub it on you. You can drink it. You can eat it. It heals your body. No negative side effects. Matter of fact, when you take the CBD and you withdraw from the CBD, you stop using the CBD, your body has no what's it called? Physiological, chemical. Your body has no reaction in your neurons. You have no dependency, it's like you just drink some water. But when you get off of that THC with the CBD, your body still craves for that THC. You have cannabinoid receptors in your brain, but it reacts on the CBD with no dependency. It reacts with the THC with a dependency. All right? So whatever medical effect you think you're getting from the THC is minuscule compared to what you would get from the CBD. But the CBD don't get you Negroes high. So you want to get high. If you're going to want to get high, just say you want to get high. Don't say, oh, I got a medical marijuana card. You want to get high and you want it to be, and you don't want to go to jail. You don't want to do the time. So you get the little medical card for a condition that you got. You go to the herbalist. Go to the bush doctor and get healed. Again, the THC does not heal. The CBD is what's going to heal you. It doesn't just mask the pain, but it actually restores and rebuilds. The THC is going to damage your brain cells. The CBD won't damage your brain cells. So you got to really look at this thing. What verse we in, man?
Verse 11.
Okay, so all these, you didn't read 11 though yet, right?
Okay.
So all these things are witchcrafts, crack, cocaine, chewing on even when you chewing in America, the coca leaf, man. The coca leaf gets you high. You got a whole culture in Colombia of the brothers that live in the Sierra Madres that just eat the coca leaf all day. They carry a little special bowl with them with a mortar, and they just chop it up all day, and they eat it. They just chewing it all day, keep them high all day. You like the movies in India when they got the snake in. You ain't supposed to do that. Go ahead. Charmer, or here, wear this ring. Wear this ring when you go into court. You go into court. But it's very important, you have to go to the court door backwards. You'll walk to your seat backwards. Just talk to people as you go by, and don't look at your seat until you get there. And then take the ring off and put it in your right pocket and say, shooby-dooby-doo. And you'll beat your case. See, that's all charms. That's all charms too. All right? frosted Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious. Go ahead.
Or a consulter with familiar spirits.
So now you're dealing with demons calling spirits up. Because Most High made an exception with Samuel, believe that. And if you are calling back real people that died, you ain't supposed to. You aren't supposed to call real people that died. Go ahead.
Or a wizard.
So anybody that's doing wizardry, spells and potions and magic, all right? Opening chakras and burning sage and taija. Who would have thought of it? It's a magic herb that when I burn it in my house, all the negative stuff leave. Why don't you go burn the sage at the crazy house? If it works, it works. Stupid bunch of idiotic nation of people, man. Generation of devils, man, and vipers. And you really believe in this stuff. I'm gonna wear this crystal around my neck because it keeps away evil. Well, shoot, I try to get everything, my whole house, my shoes, my clothes be made out of that crystal. We keep negativity away. I'm gonna call what's the people, TransUnion, Experian, and what's the other one? I'm gonna call all the credit bureau. Yeah, credit bureau, I'm calling you, and I got crystal on my phone, around my phone, and my speaker around my neck. I need you to cancel all my debt. Well, for some reason, it's done. If crystals is that powerful. Well, I got this pain and ache right here. Do I burn the sage or do I put the crystal on it? Put the crystal on it. Oh, it's gone. This stuff is just charlatan, snake oil salesmen, man. Herbs and stuff do work medicinally if the Most High wants them to work.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Somebody get her, please. All right, go ahead. Keep reading.
You got a necromancer. That's what I'm.
Yeah, which verse was that? Yeah, he said that the dead, right? Consult the dead. Yeah, that necromancy. Calling for the dead people. The necromancy. Now this is the thing. Now he shows you the righteous government that we have, right? Who really supposed to be making the decisions. Then he goes to show you the ones you ain't supposed to be dealing with, that's dealing with Satan and dealing with demons and dealing with spirits, doing things for them because they don't want to go through the proper channels. So anytime you see somebody that don't want to go through the proper biblical channels, they're dealing with demons, man. They're dealing with evil spirits because only an evil spirit is going to want to go around what Yahweh gave us as the process that we're supposed to be doing. Only an evil person. All right, go ahead. Necromancer, familiar spirits, wizards, go ahead.
Or a necromancer.
Necromancer, you're calling up the dead people, loving the dead people. Necrophilia, some people even try to have sex with dead bodies. Kissing on dead people, having them buried in some cultures, bury them under their living room. All right, go ahead.
For all that do these things are an abomination unto Yahweh, and because of these abominations, Yahweh Elohim doth drive them out from before thee.
So because of the abomination that they do, Yahweh has driven these nations from among the children of Israel before we took the land of Canaan. And then what do? We started doing the same thing again. All right, go ahead.
Thou shalt be perfect with Yahweh Elohim.
Perfect means we standing upright. We doing his will. All right, perfect meaning we're not slipping into darkness. Perfect meaning that we walking the way that he wants us to walk. Perfect meaning that our heart is always in the right place for the Most High. Our heart is not twisted. It says Tamyad, that's what it says, Yahweh Allah Hayakah. So we should always be with him. Our thoughts and our actions are always supposed to agree with the thoughts and actions that Yahweh expects from us. Never contrary. If they go contrary, you should repent. You must repent. Go ahead. What verse you going to 13, 13, right? All right, go ahead. I know we're gonna read 18:14
To 1913.
to 19. All right, go ahead. Next reader. I guess we want to do it. I want to do it again. All right, go ahead. We already know who you are. Isaiah chapter
'For these nations that thou art to dispossess, hearken unto
Go ahead.
diviners,
Diviners, looking at dead animal livers, sprinkles of blood, and tea leaves, trying to prophesy and tell you things that are going to happen. That's wicked. We ain't supposed to be doing those types of things. Go ahead.
But as for thee, Yahweh thy Elohim had not suffered thee so to do.
So he's not allowed us to do these things. Go ahead.
A prophet,
Yeah, it's not talking about. It's not talking about Muhammad. You Muslim people think it's. They don't think, but they like to try to say, "Oh, it's talking about Muhammad." First of all, it said the prophet said he raised what? Keep reading.
from the midst of thee,
Muhammad was not among us when he wrote. Muhammad was not among us. He was not among us. Muhammad was not among us. So that's scratch him out already. He was not amongst the children of Israel. Read.
of thy brethren,
He is not our brother. He had nothing in common with us except for Abraham. He was not following the Torah. He was not following the Tanakh. He was not following even the Brit Kadesh, the so-called the Hadash, the Besorah, the so-called New Testament. He wasn't following these things. Hey, it's gonna drain this. The internet. You need both devices. So Muhammad was not none of these. He wasn't from among us. Go ahead.
like unto me, unto him ye
Like
shall.
from the midst, like Moses was born from us amongst the children of Israel, in captivity, and in oppression, and under another nation, and striving for righteousness to deliver this people for evil that was being done to them. Muhammad didn't have none of them things in common with us. Read.
Unto him ye shall hearken.
So we got to listen to Yahweh Shia Mashiach, who fulfilled all the prophecies that the Most High gave. How did the Most High sent him? Because we can read the prophecies about him. Read.
According to all that thou didst desire of Yahweh Elohim in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh my Elohim, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not.
So the Most High said, you all asked for me to into a better covenant, into a new covenant, when the law is going to be written in our hearts. But first we got to take this prophet and what he's saying into our heart and follow his teachings, which is Yahweh Mashiach, which is the prophet that the Most High sent. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto me, they have well said that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet, that all that I shall command him.
So Yahweh Shai's words were the words of Yahweh. So when you question Yahweh Shai's words, you're questioning the words of Yahweh. If Yahweh said, David, don't commit adultery, the penalty for adultery is death. You're going to die. And then the Most High tells David, you committed adultery, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to kill your son. You can't question the Most High about that. It's not a contradiction. No more than what the Most High, so Yahweh Shai to do. That's his decision to make. And if you see a contradiction, that's your problem. You ask the Most High why he allowed contradictions when you see him. If you want to be so big and bad and bold, act like he can't hear you now, telling him his book is garbage, his book is full of contradictions, his book is not worth reading, his book is not worth believing, because you done figured out the mysteries of life. You just born on this planet less than 100 years ago, but you done figured out that a book that's 2,500 years old, you done figure, or more than 3,000 years old, you done figured out the mysteries of this book and that it's fake. And you 40, 30, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old. And you thinking you more intelligent than the divine, holy intelligence of the universe that was around before Islam, before Hinduism, before Christianity, and before any Jew or Hebrew was born on the planet. There was Yahweh and Yahweh Shia Mashiach, Chakma and Rokah HaKodash and Allahayim. And you, and your little pea brain, are thinking that you discovered the mysteries of the conspiracy of the Bible, with the Quran is the real book. That book came way after Christ. Or the Gospel of the Holy 12 is the real book. And that book don't even got nothing about the Torah inside of it, but it's supposed to be a Hebrew book. Come on, boy. Mother fire. Uno mad, boy. Uno mad. Uno de play. But the Most High that no joke. Walash ala uno ras, man. Okay, go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name.
Yahweh Shai spoke the word of Yahweh. You can see John chapter 1, verse 15. Go ahead.
Which he shall speak in my name,
Mm-hmm.
I will.
That the Most High didn't say? The Most High is going to pay you back for it. Go ahead.
But the prophet that shall speak a word presumptuously in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, that same prophet shall die. And if thou say in thy heart, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that it is a thing which Yahweh hath not spoken.
I mean, we watched this guy, man. We watched Malachi Maccabee get up there and say, don't let nobody play no Jedi mind trick on you to make you believe that the Bible don't say exactly what it's saying, the words in front of you. You a false prophet, son. Straight up and down. You the classic example of a false prophet. Textbook false prophet. Anybody go deeper understanding? Well, who gave you understanding before? What God was you serving when you was believing the whole Bible? And what's the name of this new God now that got you saying that the whole Bible is not true? Or was it you the whole time? It can't be both. You can't be serving the same God you was before. Or is it just you in your own mind before and now? Either way, we shouldn't believe what he's saying. His whole false name that he gave himself and the organization he promoting, which is not righteous no more, all right? And the whole lie about the whole vegan thing and the whole attack against the Bible is an exact 180 degrees opposite to where he started, what he started to teach, and where he arrived at when he made them videos about don't let nobody play no Jedi mind trick to make you think that the Bible don't say exactly what it say. And then said, you ain't under the authority of none of these niggas, is what he said. Well, who authority are you under? Who authority are you under? What authority allows you to speak for the Bible and then speak against the Bible and then wonder why people got a problem with what you saying?
As if they're wrong.
As if they the ones that's wrong. No apology, no honor and humility in that. No humility. You know what? I'm sorry, y'all right. I got caught slipping. I'm gonna just, you see what I'm saying? So you do exactly what the scripture says. When you speaking, it don't come to pass. Meaning you spoke something and you broke what you said yourself. What kind of leadership can we expect from you? You broke what you said yourself. You supposed to be keeping. Can you imagine Aaron coming or Moses coming back? Well, you know what? I know I gave y'all these laws, but man, some of these laws I gave y'all is fake. I found a new gospel of the Holy 12 over here, and they say we ain't supposed to be killing no meat, so I'm gonna go with that. I'm not gonna go with what I was teaching y'all beforehand. Well, hold up, Moses. Well, who was teaching? Who was that speaking to you, telling you about these things and these laws when you was teaching us all these years? Oh, we ain't gonna get off into that. I want all the smoke. Well, Moses, I'm asking you, what God was you serving when you was promoting the Bible? I want all the smoke. I want all the smoke, nigga. Bring me all the smoke. Well, who was you serving? And what God are you serving now? And what is the source? And where's this God? What is contradiction in what he told? Well, look, okay, Moses, it's contradiction, yeah. Okay, but what God you getting this information from? Is it the same God that's speaking to you the first time at the mountain? Or is this the guy that's speaking to you at the vegan restaurant?
No, it's more like you gotta do it in a Hindu voice.
I am Bigatron. We worship the God Bigatron. No bad things happen to any animals on the watch of Bigatron. No animals is harmed. Man, I was in India, boy, they eat all kind of meat over there, just don't eat beef. They don't eat beef. You better not eat beef in them states that's Hindu run. When you go to Muslim run places, or the Christians, now you might be able to get you some hamburger.
Right.
You know. But yeah, bro, don't come with that, man. We coming with the Torah. What are you coming with? Some cut and paste doctrine. It's cut and paste, man. Oh, Frankenstein doctrine, man. Oh, Frankenstein type teacher, man. Oh, rompe cabeza type of dude, man. Oh, puzzle piece missing on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Oh, non-sticky doctrine at the end of the roll of tape trying to put something together type dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no tape left. You at the end of the tape, try to scrape the paper off of it. I'm going to stick this together. This got to work. Gospel of the Holy 12 got to be true. And the Bhagavad Gita got to be true. But the God of the Bible is wrong. Man. Most I have mercy on your soul, bro, is all I can say. Because you done stepped into some shoes that I pray to the Father, man, on everything that I never step into, man. I pray I never get in a position where you are, bro. You got better things to worry about than try to debate with me, young brother. You got bigger fish to be trying to fry, because Satan trying to fry your behind right now, and you can't even see it. He can't even see it. He was teaching. Once you fight that, why you got to try to fight everybody else that's coming against your lies? Fight with that demon that had you teaching and believing them lies for so long. Because you got the same personality. You haven't changed. It's just whole aggression, negative energy, you know what I'm saying? Over exaggerated vocal. But when it comes down to the word, it's just aggression. It ain't nothing that's being substantiated by nothing. You want to say, oh, it's contradiction in the Bible. Why was you teaching it for so long? Because I didn't see the contradiction. Why did you teach all this time saying you was a servant of the Most High? Well, you being spiritual. Keep it real, son. If you using a book all this time, and then you come back saying the book was true, was you serving the God of that book, or was you serving another God? Make you think, don't it? What is the God that Malachi Maccabee is really serving? It can't be the God of the Torah, because he renounced the Torah and said it's a Cabbage Patch book that people done pasted and put it together, and it's wrong because it talks against the animals. Only vegetables were supposed to be eaten. All the verses that talk about sacrifice and all the verses that talk about killing animals, those verses were added. When they were added, I don't know. Who added them, I don't know. The original copy, I don't know. All I know is within, because the voice inside of me has told me these things. And this gospel of the Holy 12, of which I have no original Hebrew. See what I'm saying? I don't want to be in the brother's shoes, man. I ain't trying to get that bolt of lightning. coming in my direction. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. You cancel, bro. You cancel. Ain't no debate, you cancel. Debate for what?
On what?
Debate on, what we gonna debate on? You don't believe nothing.
Right. We had no premise to the debate.
What we gonna debate on? You don't believe the Bible. It's tampered with.
But yeah, you still teach.
And I know how I'm gonna get everybody. I know how I'm gonna kill all you niggas. I'm gonna make you eat turkey breast sandwiches. Send all y'all to hell. Turkey breast sandwiches, I'm sending all y'all to hell. Spaghetti with beef, I'm gonna send all y'all to hell. Come on, Malachi Malcolm. The brother, he ain't that stupid, but I guess he just blinded, man. You think that that's the attack that Satan came on us with? Not adultery, fornication, not my thoughts and my actions, but on some meat. You can eat the animals just like you eat the green herb that grow from the ground. Oh, but that was added. All right, what we gonna debate on? What we gonna use as a source? The debate is not on contradicting the Bible. You can't debate on something that you was a part of and you still use it. The debate is on whether or not this new gospel you came with is more spiritually sound, is more strong, is more divine and more holy than the book you leaving. That's the source. You know, the source, that's the question. Which one is righteously motivated? Which one is divine from the Most High? Which one have been in the hands of man for thousands of years? And which one woke us up? Okay. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, young brother. What verse you in?
22.
So yeah, I don't got no time for this guy, man. Like this, yeah. But if you ain't coming out the scriptures, man, like I said, you need a judgment. You don't want no smoke. You need to be spiritually smoked. You know, you need a judgment against your wicked behind, man. You don't need no debate, bro. You don't need no debate. You need judgment. You don't need no debate to give you no further airspace, no further platforms. You need a judgment. All right? You need a judgment. Stick to teaching the Hebrew. That's what you're good at. When it comes to this word, you suck. Come to teaching this word. You cannot teach this word, bro. Stick to helping people understand the grammatical Hebrew. Don't use the Bible, because you don't believe in that book no more. So find another book that got better Hebrew outside. He may be a good herbalist, he may not. I don't know. So I can't even speak on him. But you good at the Hebrew, I know that. You are not good at teaching this word any further, anymore from this point forward. Your voice has been cursed. The Most High had already cursed your voice, bro. I remember that. When you got that laryngitis, man. The Most High has cursed your mind now, brother. You the mad teacher now. You the mad teacher now. Teaching this whatever pops up in whatever new book got published on a PDF file or printed by some crazy Edomites somewhere.
There you are.
You right there, first in line. You got that new gospel of Judas? You want the gospel of Judas. You want the lost books of Saul. You know? The lost books of King Saul. The lost books of Judas the disciple. Right? Find something that's going to edify the whole nation, man, instead of this sectarian stuff established by these Edomites. You know? So no, you don't want to debate me, man. Debate me on what? Why am I going to debate a wicked ass nigga that's talking against the Torah? What are we going to debate on?
And your house shot.
What am I going to debate on? What's the debate? You wicked ass brother that need repentance and salvation. What's the debate about? It ain't like you was from the inside and now you're on the outside. You made your choice. And my choice has been consistent since January 1994. We have not flip-flopped. We have not gone back and forth. We have not renounced the Bible. We have not found no new books that we choose over the Bible. It's been the same Torah since January 1994. You flip-flopping doctrine, changing teachers, going out on your own, raising up armies, and then this dude rose up an army and then turned around and said, I'm gonna kill all of you guys now. He rose up soldiers and brothers to teach and then turned around and said, all you guys are my enemies now. Come on, that's insanity. Over what? Over the Torah? No, not over the Torah at all. Over a whole nother book. Over a whole nother book that ain't the Torah. You believe that, man? You believe that? Over a whole nother book. Not even about the Torah. And maybe the contradictions are okay to be there. Maybe it's the doctrine that needs to be consistent and solid throughout the whole book. Maybe. I'm just saying. I never seen no contradiction in the law. You ever seen contradiction in what you need to do to be obedient to the Father? Have anybody ever seen any contradiction in the Bible about how to please the Father? About the Torah, the commandments? All right, so anyway, go ahead, keep reading. And also, for the record, nigga, excuse my language, I'm getting in my flesh. I called you one-on-one when I had an issue with you, like a man. And I heard you made a video calling my name out, but you ain't never called me one time. What you call that? That's all right, some hoism right there. I called you, and I got witnesses, all right, that was in the room with me. My rib was in the room with me the morning I called you on the Shabbat, and we was late getting started that day, right? So I was on the phone with you. I called you one-on-one, man-to-man, and questioned you about your doctrine. You ain't called me one time, but you're making all kind of videos with my name in them that I haven't even watched because I ain't that type of brother. I ain't that type of brother. You know, I never liked watching As the World Turns or Days of Our Lives, you know, Another Life to Live. I never watched that type of stuff, man. You know, I was watching the other shows, man. You know what I'm saying? I like Captain Kangaroo. You know what I'm saying? I like Romper Room when I was little, but I never watched no stories, man. National Geographic, stuff like that. So nah, bro. You know, so you want to talk about video? Call me like a man and stop acting like a hoe. You want to talk to me about something? Call me like I did you. I called you before before your name came out my mouth, before I said anything, I talked to you and I examined everything you were saying from your own mouth. And I found it to be very wanting and very wicked and very against the Bible. And I called you and I talked to you man to man, one-on-one. Then you started tagging all kind of call-out videos, calling people names that's in Memphis, calling people name out that's in your city that ain't part of that wasn't part of your crew, and brothers that's in different cities. But you ain't sat down with your own people in your own gates that you was teaching to sit down with them. You running from them. And they in the same chat group as you, but you ain't saying nothing to them. Anything that brings you publicity, that you think is gonna bring you some clout or some viewers or some more super chat donations is what you about. You ain't about voicing your disagreement with people one-on-one, privately inside chat groups, like I did. I called you privately, and then we spoke inside the chat group privately. And you haven't said nothing else. But now you're making a video, but you tagging me and stuff, and I'm responding to the tags what you tagging me in. I'm not going looking for trouble. I didn't go looking for trouble. You decided you wanted me to know what you were saying, so I got tagged. You know, you and your flunkies tagging me. I'm not tagging you in stuff that don't pertain until you tag me in stuff. Okay. And I tagged you in it because I want you to see what I'm saying about what you're saying. And you know how stupid and immature and dumb I sound right now saying, well, you tagged me, so I tagged you. And what I had to say, so you could know what I'm saying. Come on, man. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like some old third grade type stuff, man. Not even third grade. It's like some maybe middle school type of stuff, man. If not even that. I don't care what you got to say or teach, man, because you are a brother, he's a liar, man. I'm not interested. And I asked you to stop tagging me. You kept tagging me. So I did what? I tagged videos that you make and that your people's made. Posts that your people's made and videos that you made. I didn't post nothing about you that I made up from my own imagination. No videos enough. I posted your videos of what you're saying about I posted the old you talking to the you in the future. Some old Back to the Future type of stuff. I posted what you said about not believing the Bible, about believing the whole Bible. I posted your words. I didn't even post my words yet. I didn't even post my opinions or my videos that I made against what you were saying from years ago. I've been talking about this type of stuff for years, man. So I'm posting what you said. So you're mad at me for your words. And you haven't even talked to your own people and clean the air in your city. So don't try to look for smoke no place else. Clean your own backyard first, man. Young man, before you come looking for the seasoned veterans in this. All right? Because I shouldn't really be giving you the time of day. And Most High forgive me, man, if I'm wrong for even entertaining what you're saying this way. Because you need to be brought to court. You need to be brought before the elders and the judges and be judged. That's what needs to happen. A lot of brothers got a false doctrine, man, but I don't know too many of them that's bold enough to say the Torah is wrong. It's been tampered with. But that's the level you've gone to. So you're going to a whole nother level beyond the Torah.
Another tier.
Yeah, you closer to hell. Closer to death and destruction, man. What's up? All right, so read the next verse. Call your verse, chapter.
We're doing here.
What are we doing here?
Doing here. Go ahead.
When Yahweh the Elohim shall cut off the nations whose land Yahweh the Elohim giveth thee.
So the land is Yahweh's to give and to take. So Yahweh gave us the land, and he took it from the Goyim. You know, as they say, tough break. The earth is Yahweh's and the fullness thereof. He gives whatever he wants to whomever, whenever, and it doesn't matter your feelings or your opinion about it. All right, go ahead.
And thou dost succeed them and dwell in their cities and in their houses.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt separate 3 cities for 3 in the midst of thy land, which Yahweh the Elohim giveth thee to possess it.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt prepare thee the way to divide the borders of thy land, which Yahweh the Elohim causeth thee to inherit, into 3 parts of every manslayer may flee thither, and this is
You need to stop at this end of the sentence, bro. So the land is divided into 3 different cities. So if you kill somebody on accident or kill them on purpose, you can run to those cities. And once they find out you killed a person on purpose, then you get killed. When they find out you killed a person on accident, you have to stay in that city of refuge until the high priest dies. All right, go ahead.
And this is the case of the manslayer that shall flee thither and live, whoso killeth his neighbor unawares and hated him not in time past.
So whoever kills somebody on accident, go ahead.
As when a man goeth into the forest with his neighbor to hew wood.
Just like we go into the forest to chop some trees down. Go ahead.
In his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe and cut down the tree, and the head slippeth.
So if I try to cut a tree and the axe head slips off and it kills somebody, go ahead.
From the helve and lighteth upon his neighbor that he die, ye shall flee into. He shall.
Let's say he or ye.
He.
Okay, so he shall run. Go ahead.
Unto one of these cities and live.
And then he not running like Forrest Gump. He running like Mr. Peters now. Run, 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 run for your life. Run, Mr. Peters. All right, so you're running for your life now. You know that, somebody about to kill you. So you're running for your life. Right, go ahead.
Lest the avenger of blood.
The avenger of blood. So you can get killed when you kill somebody on accident. Go ahead.
Pursue the manslayer.
The avenger of blood can chase you before you get to the city. Read.
While his heart is hot.
While his heart is hot, meaning while the anger is boiling in his blood, and the vengeance must be executed. Go ahead.
And overtake him because the way is long, and smite him mortally.
He gives you a deadly kill. Go ahead.
Where is he was not deserving.
Where he was not deserving, he was not worthy of death, insomuch that he hated him not in time past, because he didn't deserve to be killed, because he didn't have no problem with the man he killed on accident in any former times. Okay, verse 7.
Wherefore I command thee, saying, Thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee.
So separate 3 cities for Yahweh. Why? Because Yahweh don't want to see nobody get killed that don't deserve to get killed. Go ahead.
And if Yahweh thy Elohim enlarge thy border,
So Yahweh gives us more territory. Go ahead.
as he hath sworn unto thy fathers,
Right.
and give thee all the land
All the land. Go ahead.
which he promised
He made his promise. He's going to do it. Go ahead.
to give unto thy fathers.
Whatever he promised, he's going to do it. Whether it's a good promise or a bad promise, like Deuteronomy chapter, we know who we are. Because these curses followed us from Israel to Iraq to India to Iran to Turkey, all right, to Syria, to Egypt, to East Africa, to West Africa, to America, North, Central, and South. All these curses followed us, so that's how we know who we are, because Yahweh made that promise that all these curses shall come upon us and overtake us. All right, read.
If thou shalt keep all his commandments,
Obey everything he commanded us, not some of it. Read.
to do it which I command thee this day,
Uh-huh.
to love Yahweh
Just love him. Do what he said to do. Go ahead.
thy Elohim,
Don't have no angry feeling toward him. Oh, why did you do this? Why did you do that? No, love him and respect him, honor and fear him. Read.
and to walk ever in his ways,
To walk always in the way that he said to do. Go ahead. So he's going to increase us now. Go ahead.
then shalt thou add 3 cities
Then you add 3 more cities so people be more protected. Go ahead.
for more for thee beside these 3,
Uh-huh.
that innocent blood be not shed
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of the land
Go ahead.
which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee.
So Yahweh doesn't like the whole murder and people getting killed that don't deserve to get killed. But he understands that accidents happen. But you can't get mad and say, well, this accident happened, so I'm going to go outside Yahweh's law and kill this person for what they did. If the person don't deserve death, you can't execute a judgment above the laws of the Most High. You got to look to here for that judgment. And then if we have judgments of things people do, we got to have that understood so people know. Read.
For an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee.
Go ahead.
But I and wait for him,
You wait for the opportunity to be able to kill him. Go ahead.
and rise up against him, and smite him mortally that he die.
So you killed the man. Or you hired somebody to kill the man. Both of y'all get the same judgment. Go ahead.
And he flee into one of these cities.
So he runs into the city of refuge. Go ahead.
Then the elders of his city,
The elders of the city that he belonged to have what? Authority over him and his body. Read.
shall send and fetch him thence,
So they got to send and that he can be executed. Go ahead.
that he may die.
So he got to die now. The Most High set that up from the beginning. Whoso shed man's blood, by man's hands shall his blood be shed. He didn't set that up for the goats and the sheep. He set it up for you murdering a man. Go ahead.
Thine eye of blood,
Thine eye what?
thine eye shall not pity him.
So nobody gonna feel sorry for you when the Most High judgment come on you for murdering somebody. Ain't no pity. Go ahead.
But thou shalt put away the blood of the innocent from your eyes.
You put away the blood of the innocent. You do what? Read that again. Put away what? Read that part again.
Thou shalt put away the blood of the innocent from your sha'ala.
So you got to put away the blood of the innocent. The put away meaning you got to remove that guilt. You have to. It has to be. It has to be justice and vengeance served. If you don't give justice, it's not going to go well with us, man. You got to have justice in your society in order for the society to be blessed by Yahweh. All right, chapter 19, 14 through 29 now. Next reading. 19, 14 to 29. 20 and 9. I read chapter 19, verse 14.
Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark.
So you got to respect the boundaries of people's property. So look at all these marvelous things we're reading about. You don't find these things inside the Quran. You don't find these things inside of all these other books, man. The Bible is a perfect social guideline. Period. So don't remove your neighbor's landmark. Don't steal land. Don't remove his boundary to try to increase your land or try to decrease your land. You keep it where it's at. Don't remove the landmark. Go ahead.
Which they of old time have set in
So it's already been set. Now this goes for what? Understand. This. What are other landmarks? What does the landmark signify? It signifies this is the boundary, and you cannot cross it legally and make it yours. So we have landmarks also in the children of Israel. All right? The men cannot paint their fingernails different colors. The women and men cannot pierce their nose with the septum. They cannot get genitalia rings. All right? They can't do bloodletting rituals, squeezing blood out. We have boundaries that we've set in the Torah and outside around the Torah to protect you from even coming. What is that called? It's called chakma. The Torah says, la'ata na'ap, right? You should not commit adultery. Chakma says, don't even look upon a woman that's beautiful. Don't even sit with another man's wife. You see? So there's acts of things that are done in wisdom and around wisdom that keep you from violating the Torah, that are lawfully applicable to us even in captivity, because it's wisdom. And wisdom is the counsel of Yahweh. Wisdom says, don't do this, it can't get done. Even if it's not in the Torah, you still can't do it. Because the Torah is an aspect of wisdom. Wisdom isn't based on the Torah. The Torah is based on wisdom. In other words, here's wisdom, here's the Torah. It's not here's the Torah, here's wisdom. Now, when you come into Torah, you have to learn the Torah first to know how and the principles behind wisdom. And then you learn wisdom. All right? But wisdom is the foundation of all of the knowledge that we have, including the Torah, the Torah. All right, read that part again.
Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark.
So you cannot remove the landmarks that have been set for you, for your safety, for your protection, to stay within the bounds of obedience to the Torah, the Torah of Yahweh. Respect it is there for a reason. You cannot have a society that changes with every fad that these Gentiles make. That's why you got to understand, why are the Mormons, I'm sorry, not the Mormons, why are the Amish and the Mennonites stuck in a time warp? Because they saw the corruption of the evolving society and they said, we're going to stay over here. Why is Amalek stuck in the 1800s? Because he saw the corruption of the evolving society, and he said, we're going to stay over here. We're not going to mix with the TV. We're not going to mix with no Wi-Fi. We're not going to mix with a whole bunch of internet and being distracted by society. Why? Because it pollutes your mind. And they saw this. You cannot honestly tell me that the world is a better place because of TikTok. You cannot honestly tell me the world is a better place because of IG. Why? Because the knowledge was being spread before that, right? People were traveling before that. Remember when you had to call on the phone to make a reservation for a ticket? Or you had to go to the actual airport. Wasn't no, oh, we're going to charge this nigga more money because he came to the place where he supposed to buy his ticket. How wicked is that, bro? Can you imagine me going to a store and the store being like, well, we're going to charge you more money because you came to the store to buy the milk. We're supposed to buy the milk at, bro. We're supposed to buy my ticket at besides the ticket counter. What's it called?
Or travel agents.
It's called a ticket counter. Yeah, travel. Once upon a time, way before you guys were born,
Right.
the travel agents actually gave you a better price.
Gave you a package deal.
You don't get no discount with no travel. They try to charge you more now, don't they? You don't get no discount with the travel agents. You gotta be a consolidator now. So what's the point I'm making? The boundaries have been set. Respect the boundaries that we've set as elders and as judges over the nation. And that's why you got all these different camps popping up. Why? Because don't nobody want to be under nobody. This camp want to do their thing and believe what they want, and this camp want to believe what they want. And that same spirit tried to seep into Mashiach Yasha'Allah. Well, we don't want to do this no more, so we're going to change it. Nah, we ain't changing ish. You can change. There go the door. You can change. But Mashiach Yasha'Allah has the articles of belief, and it ain't changing for nobody. We can't change every time a camp decide they want to update their doctrine. Because we got to ask, who was you learn? What's, again, got to ask the same thing. What's the question? What spirit was you learning from before, or was it just you? Who was you learning from before? Or was it just you? Either way, we don't deserve what you're trying to give us. Because if you was being fooled by a spirit before, how we know the same thing ain't happening now? And if the God Almighty wasn't dealing with you before, what make you think that that's him giving you the message now?
That everybody should follow.
That everybody should follow? No. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
Yeah.
We can't do that. I can't go for that. No, no, no can do I. Think about it. Think twice. Would you join the Navy if you didn't like the gravy and rice? Right?
Right.
Think about it. So no, we're not doing that, man. So in other words, let me break it down for you, man. Some people think that, let me tell you this. Did you hear what I say, church? Some people think that they deserve to be in leadership even though they have led the people wrong. Did you hear what I said, church? I said some people think that they deserve to be in leadership even though they have led the people wrong. Can I get an amen? Amen? What spirit is that? You think you deserve to be in leadership even though you have led the people wrong. C'est la porta, por favor. Even though you have led the people wrong. You think you deserve to be in leadership, but you've been leading the people wrong. So what are you going to lead us to next? I can see if you can be like, oh man, the map is upside down. Man, hey bro, come here. Help me with this map, man. Matter of fact, who was telling us what's going wrong all this time? Me? Okay, y'all come up and decide how we're going to go further. Ain't do that. It's, you know what? I've been following the map the wrong way. I turned it upside down. So now y'all gonna follow me with the map the right way. And if you don't follow me, you wrong. Well, what's your judgment, your punishment for leading everybody wrong for all these years? There is none. Man, a lot of y'all need to sit y'all monkey behind down, man.
Above reproach.
You above reproach. No, and I can't believe that y'all are actually letting this stuff happen. You got somebody been teaching you wrong for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And then they come like, oh, well, hey, God is really dealing with me now, so I got the truth now, y'all. Okay, nah, bro, you supposed to lose some peas, man. You supposed to lose some position, some rank, get stripped down something, man. You don't let people wrong all this time. So no, we ain't changing nothing. I seen a movie one time, boy. It was a little show I was watching. And the dude had a choice. He could either execute somebody that did wrong, like he had been doing everybody else, or not execute that person because he needed the soldiers and the armies to back him that belonged to the guy he was about to execute to win this war. So what should he do? You see? What should he do? Now that's what it means when it said don't yadaba sawapium, don't increase horses, because he willing to sacrifice judgment for more horses, for more soldiers, for more men. You see that? That's what it means. So hey, like Robin Harris said, gotta go. If you supposed to get killed, nah, you ain't living so we can keep your horses. See what type of soldiers was up under him. If I'm wrong and I got my soldiers and I'm killed for being wrong, what my soldiers supposed to do to the people that killed me for being wrong? Huh? What my soldiers supposed to do? Huh? What my soldiers supposed to do? You get the question? If I'm wrong and I got 10,000 soldiers behind me and the man that I'm serving, I'm wrong, and I do something with a punishment supposed to be death, and that man says, well, Parazah, you wrong, no respect to a person, we got to kill you. And then he killed me. What are my soldiers supposed to do now? What are my soldiers supposed to do? Righteously, what they supposed to do? You said nothing? What do you mean nothing? Huh? Stand up so I can hear you. What now?
You said you had to be killed if you did.
Right. And I do what I'm supposed. I do something that's a death penalty. And then the king that I'm serving says, well, we gotta kill you, bro. And then he mean exactly by nothing, just so I'm clear. Mm-hmm. So what do they do as soldiers now? Who they soldier for? What do they do? What they just... Okay, we'll leave it at nothing. Okay, what you say? Since you never received a little education. What my soldiers supposed to do?
Start serving the king.
What my soldiers supposed to do? Huh? My soldiers supposed to serve the king that killed me for executing that judgment on me. Right? Sad as it may seem, I wouldn't want to die, but I know that's my penalty. I'll be sad, I'll be crying. But I tell my soldiers before I die, when I die, y'all follow the king. Because what I did. So if the king doesn't kill me, that shows that the king is not just. Justice is not always what we like. Sometimes justice is what we don't like, but it has to be done. Why? Because it is justice. So when I die, serve this king with honor and with uprightness and with righteousness. And if you walk out of line and you violate, know that you will be killed just like I got killed. And I put my head down to get my head chopped off. I wouldn't want to. I'd be sad. I'd be crying all types of stuff probably. But I wouldn't let that affect my soldiers. How many soldiers I had? 10,000? I let them know, hey, when I die, I'm saying if I did that.
No, I thought you were parallel.
I'm just saying me
Okay.
personally, not really trying to get off into
Okay.
all the storylines and, you know, peripherals and whatever. I don't even think I remember. I'm just using it as an example of following righteousness. What verse we was in?
14.
Okay. You know, we don't remove the landmark, man. You gotta stay righteous. Is somebody gonna see me moving the landmark? I'm not gonna do it where everybody's seeing me, am I? But I gotta, you know, change it. That's just gonna be found out eventually when they come to survey the land. So it's gonna catch up with me. All right, go ahead.
Which they of old time have set in thy inheritance.
So it's already established. It is what it is. Read.
Which thou shalt inherit the land, in the land that Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee to possess it. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin.
No, it has to be two witnesses. And that's part of the understanding why Yahweh sent the disciples out by two, to keep warm, to be together, to counsel, and to be witnesses for what happened wrong, and witnesses to give an account if anything went down. Go ahead. If you by yourself, who's gonna believe you? Yeah, man, I seen a dragon fly. It came from the sewer. It was a real dragon. It had breathed fire on me, everything. Look, my arm got burnt. And I'd be like, yup, I was there. I seen it. Got two witnesses. All right, go ahead. In any sin.
Or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth, at the mouth of two witnesses.
You need two witnesses that know what happened. Go ahead.
Or at the mouth of three witnesses.
Or three witnesses to know what happened. To testify. Read.
Shall the matter be established?
Established. It doesn't even get established if with one witness. You can't even establish to bring no charges against nobody with one witness. It's got to be two or three. It got to be Iki or Uch. Go ahead.
If a false witness rise up against any man.
But somebody raises up and starts to lie. Are not false witnesses now raised up against Paul?
Yep.
Is not Malachi Maccabee saying that Paul is a liar?
Along,
The books of Paul is false?
along with Deacon.
Moses is a liar? Moses didn't write this, that Ezra didn't write this. It don't matter what they try to say. At the end of the day, we who are right know that they are wrong for saying that these books are false. Read.
To testify against him.
To testify against him. You giving a false testimony against somebody. You lying on somebody. So what's that mean? I mean, you better know what you're talking about before you open your mouth. And you better have evidence and proof and records to show why, what was being said originally, and where's the record? Okay? Because even in the same Bible, the same chapter, two verses apart. One verse says, answer not a fool according to his folly. And the other verse says, answer a fool according to his folly. Now I'm going to ask you all a question. Is that a contradiction? Is that two sentences saying the exact opposite stuff? Okay. Is it still true? It's still true, but you got to figure out what does it mean. Yeah, it's a contradiction, but is it a lie? Huh? It's not a lie. If I go on the third floor and I go into the room that's up there, and somebody says, where'd he go? And he says, well, he went outside. And he says, no, he went to the room. Who's telling the truth? But is it a contradiction? It's a contradiction. But I did what? I went outside on the 3rd floor and then walked to the room that's out there. So when I walked into the room, was I outside anymore? No, I'm in the room. I'm not outside no more. I'm in the room. Room is the opposite of outside. But if somebody says, oh, he was the 3rd floor, I could be on the room up there, the covered section, the uncovered section with the walls around it, the open areas. I could be on the 3rd floor, and I can go to the floor above the little area above the 3rd floor too, right? Where the Tanaka is, right? Was it Tanaka, right? Where the tank, I go where the water tank is at. Or the other lower area where the other water tank is at. But I'm still on the 3rd floor. So, somebody can say, one of y'all is lying. Or somebody can say, you know what? Let's try to figure out why these two statements are opposite to each other, but both of them are true. Because you're not a liar, you're not a liar. So we got to figure out how to bring these two things together. Something that you want to call a contradiction, there's a difference between a contradiction and a lie. A contradiction can be true. What's the proof of that? The proof is in Proverbs, right? A contradiction isn't always a lie. So you got to prove that the contradiction is a lie. And why am I going to waste my time proving that a contradiction in the Bible is a lie when I believe the whole book? What's my motive for doing that? Maybe I'm trying to get you to stop believing in the Bible and to believe the interpretation of the books that I want you to be following and want you to believe in. It's possible. All right, go ahead and keep reading.
Then both men between whom the controversy is.
So the man that says somebody lying on him, and the guy that said he's not a liar, what should they do?
Shall stand before Yahweh, before the priests and the judges.
Before the young guys.
Before the priests and the judges.
Before the soldiers.
Before the priests and the judges.
So they go and stand before the highest judicial system of the land in that area. Go ahead.
Which shall be in those days.
And
the judges,
which shall what?
Which shall be in those days.
Which shall be in those days. So should we still have judges now? Yes, we should. Can we have priests now? Not really, but we can have the next best thing, which is a Levite. Go ahead.
And the judges shall make a diligent inquisition.
Meaning they're going to investigate. Go ahead.
And behold, if the witness be a false witness.
If the guy have been lying, hasn't told the truth, lied on the other brother, lied on his account of what happened, lied about a situation. Go ahead.
And hath testified falsely against his brother.
Have given a false testimony. All right? What's it? La'ata ina shakwar, right? Don't testify falsely. Speak the truth. All right, go ahead.
Then thou shalt do unto him as he hath thought to have done unto his brother.
Whatever the punishment was for the guy that lied is the punishment that's supposed to be done. Whatever punishment is supposed to be done is the one he's supposed to receive. Go ahead.
So shalt thou put the evil away from among you.
So people will hear that and be like, man, I don't want that thing happening to me. In Proverbs 26, verse 4 and 5, it says, answer not a fool according to his folly. Answer a fool according to his folly. So you got two different things. Answer not a fool according to his folly, and then answer a fool according to his folly. Is that a contradiction? Yes, it is. It's a contradiction. It's statements that are the opposite, statements that go against each other. But the harmony in those verses is what it takes wisdom to get to. And wisdom is too high for a fool. So while a fool is seeking for contradictions to discredit the Bible, the wise man sees the contradiction and can bring out the wisdom of what it really means. And can give a reason why it's even there. All right, go ahead.
And those which remain shall hear.
Those that remain shall hear about what the judgment was against this guy that lied on his brother. All right, go ahead.
And fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you.
So when you see the consequences of evil, people are afraid and they're going to do the right thing. It starts out of fear, and then it should end up in love. Go ahead.
And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
So whatever you lied on somebody, or somebody lies on another, all right, brother A lies on brother B. The penalty for what brother A is saying about brother B is supposed to be death. So if they find out that, oh, brother A is lying, brother B didn't do that, what happens to brother A? He gets put to death. And brother B is released. You see that? So they found out that brother A was lying. So then brother B is the one that's got to take the punishment. Okay?
Kol Shirad Bar Yahweh,
Kalash Yahweh Bar Yahweh,
Na Yishal Na Shemai.
Na Yishal Na Shemai.
All Yahweh said,
All that Yahweh said,
what are we doing here?
what we doing here.
All right, verse 1 through 10. I'm sorry, 1 through 9. So you see a lot of horses, chariots, and people. More than what you got. Go ahead. Go ahead.
For Yahweh thou highest with thee,
Yahweh is with you. Don't fear what you see with your feet.
which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
Yahweh did all these miracles, these wonders, and he's brought death upon the African Hamite Egyptians. So he can do it again. Read.
And it shall be, when ye are come nigh unto the battle,
So you come close to the battle, it's about time to fight. Go ahead.
that the priest shall approach and speak unto the
The
people,
Levite priest supposed to come and give everybody a pep speech. Go ahead.
and shall say unto them,
This is what the priest says. Go ahead.
Hear, O Yasha'Allah,
Shema Yasha Allah. Go ahead.
ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies.
You're about to go fight your enemies. Read.
Let not your hearts faint,
Don't be afraid. Don't let your heart faint. Don't get weary and weak in your spirit. Anything all right? All right, go ahead.
when thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace.
I'm sorry. So you finished. All right, so the captains come out. So man, you got the officers, and then you got the captains to break up into different bands and different duties assigned in the battle. And you have all these stuff usually set up beforehand. You don't just say, all right, you come give a speech, all right, y'all, in school, okay, you guys divide up into different work groups, right? Ain't like that. It's like, okay, I know, boom, 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 you already know ahead of time. Because this ain't your first time going to battle. So when you go out again, man, these guys fought good together, blah, 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 blah. We saw you running up the hill good, man. When you came down the hill, bro, you was tumbling and falling, man, like the Weeble Wobble, man. Like some dominoes on ice. So we're gonna have you go up. Just fight on the flat ground. Stay up there. All right. So this is what was happening in ancient Israel. We had battles and we went to war. All right. Next reader. Chapter 20, verse 10 through 21:9.
Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. Then it shall be, if it make thee answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee.
So when you go to a city, you say peace, and they say, you know what? We're gonna submit to y'all and bow down, and we're gonna serve you. Don't make war with them. Be cool with them, because they don't want no smoke. Go ahead.
And if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when Yahweh Elohai hath delivered it into thy hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword.
They say, nah, you know what? We want all the smoke. When you go in, you kill all the males with the sword. Go ahead.
But the women and the little ones, and the cattle, and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, thou shalt take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which Yahweh Elohai hath given thee.
Right. So you come in the city and you take everything that you want now. And you let the women and the young children stay alive. The little ones, rather, stay alive. All the males, you kill them. Go ahead.
Thus shalt thou do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations, but of the cities of these people, which Yahweh the Elohai doth give thee for an inheritance.
Talking about the Canaanites. Go ahead.
Thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth,
So we got to kill everything that breathes.
as Yahweh the Elohai hath commanded thee,
Right. Kill everything. Go ahead.
that they teach you not to do after all their abominations, which they have done unto their gods. So should he sin against Yahweh your Elohai.
So you kill them so that the Most High is, man, he's ruthless. The Most High is not a little stuffed animal. Coochie coochie coo. You don't poke his belly and you don't poke his belly and biscuits pop up in your oven. All right? You don't rub his belly or rub him on the side and he give you all your wishes. The Most High is loving, he's merciful, and he's long-suffering. But he's also a killer. Remember, Yahweh made Satan. Yahweh made the sharks. Yahweh made the scorpions. And he made the cobras. He also made fish, rabbits. He also made the silverback gorillas. He also made the lions. He also made the jaguars. So don't try to lock him into, that Yahweh is your teacher on the first day of kindergarten. Nah, Yahweh is not that. And when you betray Yahweh, and you say, you know what? I'm going to serve another God. I'm going to use other books outside the Torah. He got a lake of fire waiting for you. Waiting for you. As he has said and told us. He got a lake of fire waiting for anyone that decides they don't want to serve him no more. Learn to love it and you will learn to like it. Because that's how he is. Period. And it's been that way since before the earth was made. You're going to try to come against something that was existing and there. And you see the power of it since before anything existed, man. Huh? There's no story. Is there a story of creation in the Quran? In the 7 days? And is there? I don't think it's there. Now, the Hindus, I give them credit, boy, for most creative religion. they stuff it.
Oh, yeah.
Shiva's wife came and covered his eyes, and then that's how he got the third eye. And his hair grew together. When his hair grew together, it became the Ganges River. This is why the river is holy to us. For real.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I farted, looked behind me, and seen a rainbow. Don't believe that. Then Ariashan said, Skittles. You see what I'm saying? So no, they fantastic, but it's not logical. It doesn't make sense. It's not scientific, and it doesn't go along with the God that we see from Genesis 1:1. So it's there. So you go by what that says. All right, go ahead.
Verse 19. When thou shalt besiege a city a long time, in making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them.
He said, don't destroy the lambs. What did he say?
Thou shalt not destroy the trees.
Don't destroy the trees. You can cut the lambs and kill the lambs and eat the lambs. He said, don't destroy the trees. So if you want to hug something, hug a tree. Hug a fruit tree, hug a walnut tree, hug a pear tree, hug a peach tree, hug an apple tree. Those trees are not supposed to be taken down in war. Read.
By forcing an axe upon it,
Mhm.
for thou mayest eat of them, and thou shalt not cut them down.
So you're gonna cut down the fruit and the food trees, go ahead.
For the tree of the field is man's life,
Mhm.
to employ them in the siege. Only
The tree of the field is man's to employ in the seed, meaning regular trees with no fruit. Okay?
only the trees which thou knowest that be not trees for meat,
These are not trees that grow meat. Go ahead.
thou shalt destroy and cut them down.
You can destroy and cut those down and use those for your siege engines. Okay?
And thou shalt build bulwarks
Mhm.
against the city that maketh war with thee until it be subdued.
So battering rams, the towers, you build those with those trees from the wood. Okay? Okay?
Kashra de Bar Yahala,
Kalashala the body of Yahweh.
Naisha and Nashemai.
Naisha wa Nashami.
All Yahweh said,
All that Yahweh said,
what we doing here.
what we doing here. Okay?
Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 1.
Verse 1 through 9. Go ahead.
If one be found slain in the land which Yahweh the Elohai giveth thee to possess it,
So you find a dead body.
lying in the field, and it be not known who hath slain him, then thy elders and thy judges shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain. And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city shall take an heifer which hath not been wrought with,
Now take a cucumber.
take an heifer,
Take a they cut the head off the broccoli.
take an heifer,
They cut off they get the heifer and do what?
which hath not been wrought with,
Uh-huh.
and which hath not been drawn in the yoke,
So they get the heifer when they found out somebody got killed. They measure to the cities, and the elders of that city, they take a heifer, go ahead.
and the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley,
They bring the heifer to a rough valley. Go ahead.
which is neither eared nor sown,
Mm-hmm.
and shall strike off the heifer's neck,
And that's a strong stroke, ain't it? He said strike off her neck. Phew. Go ahead.
there in the valley.
In the valley. So the elders of the city that's closest come out. So that's what I'm trying to tell a lot of people, man. Like, when it comes to matters of the Torah, your opinion doesn't matter.
It don't count.
Only opinion that matters when it comes to matters of the Torah that you may not understand is those of the judges and the elders and the officers. Your little opinion does not matter. It's just like in the government. I can go to a white man and be like, well, I thought that this law says this. And they say, well, you was wrong 4 years. 4 years. Ain't no excuse because I thought it meant something different than what it said, especially we explaining to you what it means, bro. Like, what kind of government you trying to have? There's people that, you brothers that act like that, man, you don't respect your own government. You only respect what you want to do.
When you want to do it.
When you want to do it, how you want to do it, with whom you want to do it. You don't respect your own government. If you're going to oppose your government, show in the government where it's wrong at, not your opinions. See, that's why you should be studying and reading the Torah and thinking about it. You ain't meditating in the Torah. Because now when it comes time to explain the Torah, you can't show why. So what you do is you read the Torah and you think about different scenarios and different, types of situations. And these scenarios and these situations are what you use to increase your understanding. Not so when the time comes upon you, you be like, oh, okay, well, we read about this. No, it doesn't mean that we already explored that option. All right, go ahead.
And shall strike off the heifer's neck,
They strike off the heifer's neck. They cut her neck off. Go ahead.
there in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
And the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near, for them Yahweh the Elohai hath chosen to minister unto him,
Uh-huh.
and to bless in the name of Yahweh, and by their word shall every controversy and every stroke be tried.
Go ahead.
And all the elders of that city that are next unto the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the city.
Washing the hands symbolized that we had nothing to do with this death. Go ahead.
And they shall answer and say, our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it. Be merciful, O Yahweh, unto thy people Yasha'Allah, whom thou hast redeemed. And lay not innocent blood unto thy people of Yasha'Allah's charge, and the blood shall be forgiven them. So shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you,
Right.
when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of Yahweh.
Right in the sight of Yahweh. So you gotta execute judgment and justice even for the people that have died. And there's nobody around to say what happened. Okay? All right, next read it, the Haftarah, or the Ha-Patara. Read it inside the book that's up there. It should be Isaiah, it should be Isaiah 51 and 12.
Isaiah 52:12.
What is it? On what? What you looking at?
Kabbalah.
That's 51:12.
2:52:12.
Mm-hmm. You might want to change that on here too. It says 51:1 to 52. So 51:12. I start reading.
Even I am he that comforteth you. Who art thou, that thou art afraid of man that shall die, and of the Son of Man that shall be made as grass? And hast forgotten Yahweh thy Maker, that stretched
What
forth
verse you in?
13,
Okay, go ahead.
that stretched forth the heavens and laid the foundations of the earth, and fearest continually all day,
Go ahead.
because of the fury of the oppressor, as he maketh.
I'm not following you. Could you read real slow? Can you read a little faster? Because there's a lot of pause between your words. And it's hard to follow you like that. So just read, just put more words together, like make the thoughts together more, and then you could pause. And then put more thoughts together and pause. You know, where he says, and forgettest the Lord thy Maker, that has stretched forth the heavens. Instead of putting that long pause between every word, just try to compact more words together before you pause. Got it? Okay, shouldn't be hard.
And where is the fury of the oppressor?
All right, it says, and where is the fury of the oppressor? Go ahead.
He that is bent down shall speedily be lost.
What verse you in now?
14.
Okay, because we looking in the King James, you in the Hebrew one too. Go ahead.
And he shall not go down dying into the pit.
So the Most High is going to provide deliverance. All right, go ahead.
Neither shall his bread fail.
So the Most High is going to make sure that we have food to eat also. Those that trust and wait on and believe on Him. Go ahead.
For I have put my words in thy mouth,
All right.
and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand.
Just like we see happening with the prophet we read about. The Most High put His words in his mouth. All right, go ahead.
That I may plant the heavens and lay the foundation.
People, go ahead.
There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth.
What verse you in?
18.
You skipped 17? I think you might have skipped it. Because one verse says, awake, it says, awake, awake. Arise, arise. Did you read that part? Okay, that's all right. Go ahead. Go ahead. There's queens in the house. Jerusalem in the house. Stand up, Jerusalem. Go ahead.
That has drunk at the hand of Yahweh the cup of his fury.
So those of us that have been punished by the Most High, stand up. Be counted. Get off the ground now. Wake up and stand up. Wake up, everybody. Right? So he says, wake up and stand up. Go ahead.
Thou hast drunken the beaker, even the cup of staggering, and drained it.
So we have drunk the cup of dregs, and we have drunk the cup of the Most High's fury, and we have drunk the cup of trembling, and drunk from the cup of his punishment. So Yahweh has punished us from a cup that we had to drink from. All right? Go ahead. Verse 18.
There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth. Neither is there any that taketh her by the hand.
So Jerusalem, we had nobody, no nations came to our rescue. Everybody was oppressing and killing us. You know what that means, man? Imagine you see something evil and bad happening to you and nobody standing around to help you. And what you gotta understand is this, man. We was in the Eastern Hemisphere. Nobody came to our rescue, our aid, when we went in slavery under the different nations. When the European nations were taking us to Africa and India, and the Arabs were taking us to India and Africa, slave trade, selling us to the Turks across the Mediterranean Sea. Nobody came to our aid. We got to America, Central America, South America. Nobody helped us fight off the Spanish. Nobody helped us fight off the French or the British. Nobody helped us in our fight against the Americans or the Portuguese or the Dutch or the Germans. Nobody helped us. But then when we got our heads bashed in, when we got raped, enslaved, we got robbed, we got murdered, we got abused for hundreds of years. Once that's over, now here comes the so-called Jews running to America. Here comes the so-called Africans, the Arabs, the Chinese, the Hindus, the Japanese, Australians. Not too many Aborigines up there, though. They are flocking to America once the storm settles and America has been built on our experimentation of our oppression, has been built on our bloodshed, our labor. Our lands have been stolen, our animals have been stolen from us. Our gold fields, our silver mines, our gold mines, our precious jewels, our water, our dirt, our rivers, our streams, our creeks have been robbed from us. Now here comes all the other nations to America talking about the land of the free, the home of the brave. Well, they wasn't so brave when we were Lebanon, Iraq and Iran, Transjordan, Egypt. They weren't busting down no doors, no shit to get over to America when we was being oppressed and enslaved. Why? Because they didn't want that fight. They didn't want that fight. But now, several hundred years later, we still fighting and struggling, and what are they doing? Coming over here, segregating themselves from us. Doing the exact same thing that we fought against the white man doing to us, but they do it with privileges. So they can live amongst the white man. They can have their own little sections of town called Jewtown, Chinatown, Little Italy, Mary Hill over in Cleveland, right? They got all these things and amenities based on your oppression, your murder, your enslavement. And what do they give you? A product for a price. You get nothing. So don't come talking about what matters and who's equal and what playing field we on. I don't really care. Because none of these people was doing nothing to aid us when we was getting oppressed and murdered and enslaved. They're not doing nothing now besides trying to get us to do what? Join their little political cause. I will not forget what happened when these people came into our lands and how my brothers and sisters, my ancestors came to them on that journey. I won't forget what happened to our people in India, in Sri Lanka, in South Africa, in Malawi. I won't forget what happened to us because America has decided it wants to have some type of political evolution or revolution, whichever one they prefer. We're not a part of that. We had nothing to do with that. That had nothing to do with us. To the kings and the priests that Yahweh created us to be. Nothing less than that is acceptable to us, period. So everybody was watching when we got this evil happening to us. Everybody's watching now. I don't see the Hague, right? I don't see the Hague. I don't see Switzerland stepping in saying, hey, it's wrong what y'all doing to these people. You still in their land. I don't see nobody stepping in. You shouldn't put a pipeline going through the reservation. Because the bauxite company is taking the land that was reserved for these people. I don't see nobody going down to Brazil, even now. Nobody's going into any part of Africa to protect any rights of any indigenous peoples there. Oh, but let an African company go into Norway saying, we found the gold, we found oil, we're going to explore oil. Man, they kick them people out so fast, right? Because they don't even let them in. The European man, he's a greedy dog. Anybody you ever see a greedy dog? Anybody really ever see a greedy dog? A greedy dog, he walking down the street, oh hey, you pet him, your friend. But now when he go to eat, you put your hand toward that bowl, boy.
Yeah, problem.
Yeah, you may come back with one less finger. Or one less finger, because he's gonna bite your hand off. And you could be the one to put the food in his bowl. Because the dog would do what? Bite the hand that feeds it. And that's what the whole European system is built upon. Biting the people, robbing and raping the people that they are using to get the resources to control the world. But that's the way it is. Because Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. How else would you expect the children of Hashatan to be acting? Besides like vicious, conniving, brutal animals whose only satisfaction is to control and conquer every corner of the planet Earth. Read the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and you'll see. But go ahead, finish reading. What verse you in?
18.
Okay. Yeah, you're in 18. Go ahead.
Of all the sons that she hath brought up, these two things are befallen thee. Who shall demand thee? Desolation and destruction, and the famine and the sword.
So plunder, being everything broken down, desolation, being totally isolated from everything, having nothing, no resources to have, and hunger and the sword, warfare and no food. Go ahead.
How shall I comfort thee?
Uh-huh.
Thy sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets.
Fainted meaning they don't have no power. They on the tops of every street corners like a what?
As an antelope in a net.
Like a wild bull in a net. Like a wild bull in a net. Got all this energy and strength and power and can't do nothing with it. So what do? They fight against each other. And that's what our brothers are doing on the corners of every place throughout this part of the world, fighting each other for something that's not even theirs. At the heads of the streets. Whose streets they at the heads of now? Go ahead.
They are full of fury of Yahweh.
You can look at them and tell that the Most High has cursed them and put a punishment upon our people, man. If anybody can't look at us and tell that we are the ones that's cursed by Yahweh, they got a problem. And that's why it's important for us to return and keep his commandments. Read.
The rebuke of thy Elohim, Therefore hear now this, thou afflicted
Uh-huh.
and drunken, but not with wine.
What are we drunk with? Different religions, different philosophies, different concepts and ideas, different distractions, different tools that lead us away from Yahweh. That's what's made us drunk. Go ahead.
Just thus saith the Elohai Yahweh, and the Elohai that pleadeth the cause of his people.
Yahweh's going to judge the cause of our people. Go ahead.
Behold, I have taken out of my hand the cup of staggering.
So Yahweh's going to take the cup of trembling, of staggering, the cup that the things that we have been under, the punishment he brought upon us. What's he going to do? Read. Keep reading.
The beaker, even the cup of my fury, thou shalt no more drink it again.
So Yahweh's going to deliver us from all these evil things that's happened to us, from the hands of the other nations and from our own hands. From the hands of the other nation and from our own hands. It's not going to happen to us again. No more Latino on Latino, black on black, Native American on Native American crime. Go ahead. No more nations exploiting us, robbing us, raping us, making our daughters murder their babies at the abortion clinics, making our sons give our daughters babies that they're going to go and murder at the abortion clinic, making our sons and our daughters murder, shoot, and stab each other, become homosexual with each other, adulterer and fornicating with each other, loving the other nations and making babies and trying to produce marriages and children from the heathens that oppressed us and did us wrong when we tried to escape and be delivered from their hands. Read.
And I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee.
So those that have afflicted us are going to receive everything Yahweh gave us. Read.
That have said to thy soul, bow down.
The ones that made us bow down. The ones that afflicted us. The ones that oppressed us and did us wrong. Go ahead.
That we may go over.
Lay on the ground so I can walk on you. Meaning what? I'm going to elevate myself by oppressing and pushing you down. Did not America do this? Did not France and Germany and Russia do this? Did not Spain do this? What language did they speak here? Spanish. Well, how did they learn? Did they go to Spain and learn the Spanish language and come back and say, hey, this is a good language, we should speak it? No, white people came over here and said, we're going to take your land, we're going to take your jewels, you're going to work for us, and then when we finish, we're going to leave you, but you better keep speaking our language, and you better dress like us. And they taught us and made us so afraid that even when the white man left, they should have been like, you know what, we need to go back to everybody speaking Zotzil and Zentalo. But he said that they made us bow down, that they may go over. Meaning what? They building us up, dead bodies, so they can control and rule. What they do? Go ahead.
And thou hast laid thy back as the ground and as the street to them that go over.
You see? Laying down, walking over our dead bodies, our dead corpse. And that's why the Skull and Bones organization that George Bush organized, that he's a part of rather, not organized it. They did what? They walk around with Geronimo's skull, the skull of Geronimo. America is built on the bones and the bodies of the so-called slaves, the tribe of Judah, and especially the bones and the buried bodies of the Gadite North American Indians, because they would murder us in the fields and just leave our bodies there sometime, or they'd dig a big ditch sometime and throw us in there. all across America, all across Mexico. You don't think there's bodies of the tribes of Issachar and Zebulun and Gad scattered throughout Mexico where they murdered us and just buried us there? I want to build a house on top of what? Cemeteries of our ancestors, man. And the cemetery is gone now. Puerto Rico, same thing. Burial grounds, to the point where you got to be like, well, this is special Indian land that they can't touch. The whole island was supposed to be like that. Over in Rio Grande, outside Luquillo in Rio Grande, that they can't touch that land no more, because why? They exploit it and touch everything else there. Corporations can't come there. But even, what was that, the corporations went there and had, did something with the schools had to shut down, right? What was it? You remember that, right?
Yeah, vulture capitalism.
Now, they went there, and what happened? They had to shut the schools down?
Basically what happened is that they got them into a loan that they couldn't repay back.
Who, the townships or?
Oh, really the government, but it affected all the townships. And because of the hurricane and other disasters that happened, they didn't have the money to repay back these loans. And then the capitalists knew that. So then they went in and took over areas and shut down schools. That's the only evil.
So they building themselves up on our bones. And the scripture says, woe to him that establishes town by blood. And that's how America was built, by blood. It's built by blood. Mexico was built on blood. Puerto Rico was built, they built their towns and their cities, right? To get what? Gold, silver, amber, amethyst, emeralds, from all over. South America, Central America, North America. And they're gonna pay. Read.
Awake, awake.
Awake, awake. Go ahead.
Put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments.
Put on your what?
Beautiful garments.
Nah, put on your t-shirts.
Beautiful garments.
Put on your heat press t-shirt with your camp name on it.
Beautiful garments.
Put on your beautiful garments. Your beautiful garments. Put on your all black with the studs and the t-shirts. Beautiful garments. Your garments that are beautiful. Tunics with fringes and border of blue that are beautiful, stylish. Right? That's beautiful garments. It says Iwaria La Bashia. He's today while La Bashia. Say Bulgaria. Beautiful garments. All right. Put on your garments of splendor, your garments of beauty, all right? Your garments of splendor and your clothes, your beautiful clothes. Put these things on your body now, all right? Put these things on your body. Go ahead.
O Jerusalem, the holy city.
Jerusalem. And over here it says the Pa'aravka. It says the Pa'aravka. What does the Pa'arath mean? Kailaka hamalakwath wa Allah wa da Pa'arath. The Pa'arath is glory. So it says put on your glorious garments. Your garments of glory. That's what it says. It says Bagadia the Pa'aravka. The Pa'aravka. So it says put on your garments of glory. Your garments of glory. Do you have any garments of glory? Pressed or sublimation logo on it with some bordered blue and fringes? And that's the thing I don't understand about y'all, man. Y'all want to come into the truth and then you want to start to wear clothes to promote your camp instead of promoting your culture. You can do both. Like, yeah, made his garment, man. You seen the garment he made? You ain't see it? He had his garment on, but at the bottom of the garment, he had some embroidery on it that said Office of Accountability.
Oh, okay.
Like, man, this nigga too fly for his own good, man. This nigga just too fly for his own good. This Elder Nagaya, which is his official office entitled for the Office of Accountability. He's an Elder Nagaya, meaning he's an elder prince, elder ruler. This too fly's gotta be glorious, man. So let's stop there. In the spiritual world and in the physical world, what you adorn yourself with need to be glorious, man. Because you representing the kingdom of heaven. You representing the Creator. So put on your glorious garments. Go ahead.
O Jerusalem.
Oh, Jerusalem. You're supposed to be representing for Jerusalem. So we as a people supposed to put off our garments of mourning, our garments of shame. The t-shirt, man, it's the truth. Y'all can get mad at me if y'all want to. But a t-shirt is a shameful garment. A t-shirt was not meant to be glorious apparel. The t-shirt that you wear as an outer garment is the same as when David's men had their tunics cut off around their bottom parts. They bottom. It was cut off so it came to their midsection because they were shaming them. So they might have had on what if they went someplace cold, which it wasn't really, but let's imagine they had pants underneath that garment. Well, the garment was still cut in half. So it's still like you walk around with pants and a t-shirt. It was a mark of shame. Stop doing it. Stop promoting it. T-shirts is not the culture of Israel. And wearing an apron with the front and the back and the side open is not a mark of ancient Israel either. We didn't have our thighs and our legs all exposed like that, man. That's not a glorious garment. That's pants and a shirt, and you got some type of tie around that you're trying to say is a garment. We wore one piece, and then we had something under that one piece. We didn't wear two pieces. If you wore two pieces, you still had something up under it. You know? So anyway, that's a whole long thing, but you got to represent Jerusalem when you walking and talking. All right, go ahead.
The holy city.
So what type of garment you going to be wearing representing the holy city? Hey. Go ahead.
For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean.
So the uncircumcised.
Shake thyself from the dust.
Shake the dust off. Get the dust off your shoulder. Go ahead.
Arise.
You got to skate. Go ahead.
Arise and sit down.
Enthrone yourself. Get on your throne. Go ahead.
O Jerusalem,
Mm-hmm.
loose thyself from the bands of thy neck.
Take off the yoke around your neck. See, spiritual and mental liberation comes before the physical liberation. Your mind and your spirit got to be free first, so you can understand clearly that everything is temporal. It's not going to last. And then once you can do that, it doesn't matter what's happening to your body. Because Yahweh told us, don't fear the person that can destroy your body, but fear Yahweh that can destroy your soul. You can think about that. Stomp on your foot because that's happened to you. You felt that pain before. But imagine the pain you feel of everybody you see before you getting chopped into pieces and fed to rats and fingernails and toes being pulled out slowly but surely. You gotta watch it. And then the same thing's happening to you. That's physical pain. But what makes you feel that pain is your soul. Your soul is your senses. Your spirit is your gauging system. Your nerves have a connection to your spirit. And when you break that threshold of that impact of the physical world, that's when you can fast and you can see spiritual things happening. All right, read that part again.
Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck.
So take off the bands. This is the physical bands we're going to take off, but it starts with your mental and your spirit being free from the bondage of the things that were created to oppress you. that you voluntarily submit yourself to. Like the whorehouse, like the clubs, like the crack house, or the trap, as they want to call it now. Every year something different changes. Action to your relationship with Yahweh. Go ahead.
O captive daughter of Zion,
So captive daughter, we put into where? Captivity. Get up, dust yourself off. Read.
for thus saith Yahweh, ye were sold for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money.
Go ahead.
For thus saith Yahweh, my people went down after.
Okay, relax. Go ahead. Start over.
For thus saith Yahweh, Elahiah, my people went down aforetime
Meaning in the past.
into Egypt
So he said, my people went into Egypt. Go ahead.
to sojourn there,
We went into Egypt to sojourn and we end up getting oppressed. Go ahead.
and the Assyrian
Is that Assyria? Is that
oppressed them
the Assyrians oppressed us too? Go ahead.
without cause.
Uh-huh.
Now therefore, what do I hear saith Yahweh?
All right, go ahead.
Seeing that my people is taken away for naught, they that rule over them do how saith Yahweh, and
They that rule over them what?
they that rule over them do how saith Yahweh, and my name continually all the day is blasphemed.
What are you reading inside the Haftorah? I get a regular Bible, because that phrasing and wording in there is kind of throwing off your reading, I think. Just read it from the regular Bible. Let's start from chapter 52, verse 5. Go ahead. Now therefore,
what have I here saith?
what have I here? So you guys see that word? You said, what have I here saith Yahweh?
Now therefore, what have I here saith Yahweh?
Right?
That my people is taken away for naught.
Go ahead.
They that rule over them make them to howl.
Meaning tremendous pain. Oh, just pain, anguish. Read.
Saith Yahweh, and my name continually every day is blasphemed.
Go ahead. Blaspheme. Go ahead.
Therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that doth speak. Behold, it is I.
Why? We're going to know that. Because he's going to deliver us. Go ahead.
How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings.
So he that brings the knowledge of salvation. That's the best tidings we can receive about Yahweh Shah Mashiach and obedience to the Torah and repentance. That our feet are beautiful, that are doing these things. Right? The people that bring the good tidings, bring the gospel, bring the message of peace. Go ahead.
Publishes publisheth peace that bringeth good Zion, thy Elijah reigneth. Thy watchmen shall lift up the voice with the voice together, shall they sing, for they shall see eye to eye when Yahweh shall bring again Zion. Break forth into joy, sing together, ye waste places of Jerusalem. For Yahweh hath comforted his people, he hath redeemed Jerusalem, and Yahweh hath made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our Lahiah. Depart ye, go ye out from thence, touch no unclean thing. Go ye out of the midst of her,
Be.
be ye clean that bear the vessels of Yahweh. For ye shall not go out with haste, nor go by flight, for Yahweh will go before you, and Yahweh of Yashar'Allah will be your reward.
Your reward. All right, next reader, John 14, 9 through 10, 9 through 20.
Chapter 14.
John chapter 14, verse 9 through 20.
John chapter 14, verse 9. Yahushua saith unto him, Have I been so long time with you, and yet thou hast not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou, Show us the Father? Believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me. He doth the works. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, the works that I do shall also he do, and greater works than these shall he do.
But you can only do these works through chakma, through wisdom. You can't do them just by reading and debating and arguing with people. It got to be done through chakma. Go ahead.
Because I go unto my Father, and whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, and that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If you love me, keep my commandments.
So if you love him, you got to keep his commandments. Walk in the commandments that he gave us, know him, as well as the commandments that Yahweh gave us, and to do the things that he did, you have to also walk in chakma, wisdom. Korah.
And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he
Which is the Holy Spirit. Go ahead.
that he may abide with you forever.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not,
Mm-hmm.
neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you. I will not leave you comfortless, I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world seeth me no more.
Mm-hmm.
But ye shall see me, because I live, ye shall live also. At that day ye shall know that I am my Father, and my Father.
All right, so you're going to give us the comfort, which is Rakah Hakodas. The Holy Spirit is going to bring things to our remembrance that Hamashiach taught us, and is going to reveal the truth to us about the word of Yahweh and about what we need to do to have a better relationship, a better understanding and relationship of Yahweh and his laws, commandments, and statutes unto our salvation. All right? So that's the reading for today. Shalom, shalom to everybody too. Everybody's in cyberspace. Was there anything else on there besides on those besides shalom? Shalom and Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Okay. From there. Hit the. Okay. All right, so that's it. That's the Torah portion for today. I know I got kind of mature a couple of times, but hey, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Things are how they are, and who's right and who's wrong, the Most High is going to bring out in judgment. But right now, we have a Torah authority, and we have an office of Torah that gives the understanding of the Torah that you got to respect as part of the nation. Everybody wants to be a loner, independent. Nobody wants to really submit to the government. It's like on and off switch. Well, I'll submit to you on this situation, but over here, nah, I'm not. Okay. All right, Shalom Lakama.